sexy and I'm kind. I'm pretty when I cry. Okay, let's do this. Can't wait till I start streaming on Twitch again, dude. Dude, I can't wait, can't wait, can't wait till I can get back on the other grinds, bro. Streamlabs is such a fucking pain in my ass. Let's take some of that. Take one of these really quickly too. Here you are. Talk about similar stuff again? Yeah, let's talk about similar stuff again. I don't know what the similar stuff we talked about before was, but sure. Let's do it. What's up, Blake? Good to see you. Your ears is designed so the stream is hits perfectly. Yep. Praise be to God. Designing our ears so perfectly just for this stream right here. Hopefully the word gets out that this stream and this channel and this content is what everybody's eyes and ears was designed for. Where's the proof of atheism? I always read your question first, Marco. I'll read the question first, and then I'll sit here, you know, jump a little bit at it, and then read the name like, ah, jeez, this fucking guy. But anyway, here's the proof for atheism. Take it up with the atheists as they scroll into the chat, man. What? Good to see you, Marco. Good to see you too. Good to see you too. Hell yeah. What's up, Blake? You know, it's hard to remember who people are now, but yeah, welcome in again. Sorry, let me take this medication really quickly. Ugh. Here we go. Prove God exists. I guess this is what we're after, huh? What's up, Toaster? Good to see you. Dude, my eyes are fucked up. Let's just really stop streaming this close to waking up. Disproving God would actually prove God exists because you would have to be God to know such a thing. That's dude, bro. Man, sharpen those swords, Marco. I'd imagine somebody's gonna fall for it soon. If there's no God, explain Jungkook. Hi, Inquisitor. Why are we still doing this, man? Why are we still at it? Why are we still doing this? Lack of evidence, by the way. Can't forget the lack of evidence. Proof of atheism is how monkeys look like us a little bit. I mean, it's more so proof of evolution, but you're on the right track for sure. There was something I forgot to do. I don't remember what I forgot to do, but Jesus is in you and he wants you to accept him inside of you. I'll probably will later tonight. I'll accept 100% of Jesus right inside of me. You know, just I will get all of my get my insides ready for him for sure. All right, how bad is the delay tonight? Let me check really quickly. Playback speed 2x. All right. And then after that, replay an alert and see how fast it takes to hit. You lack a belief God doesn't exist. Well, good for you. Hell yeah. All right, let's replay this. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7,000. Okay, yeah, so still about 7 seconds. That seems to be consistent. We'll take that. Yeah, we'll take it. All right, but yeah, welcome in, y'all. Good to see you. Good to see y'all again. It's good to see the usual suspects, you know, the usual peeps. And hopefully the new peeps. We'll go from there. But yeah, it's good to see y'all. How's y'all's day going? How's y'all's night? How's y'all's lives and wifes and strifes and blifes and twifes? How's y'all doing? How prosperity makes people think they don't need God even through the prosperity, even though the prosperity came from Christian values. Proof atheism, how prosperity makes people think they don't need God even though the prosperity came from Christian values. I wouldn't argue that people's prosperity necessarily comes from Christian values. Uh, I'd say in that if you're being like serious, and I would say we just disagree on that. Do I believe in God? No, I don't believe in God personally. Was the snake in the garden winged or legged? I honestly I couldn't tell you. Once we get to the point of like a snake being able to communicate, I mean, it's at that point you might as well say that motherfucker was able to shoot lasers out his eyes or something. I don't know. Like once we accept a supernatural framework, then honestly just shovel everything else on in there. But no, I don't believe in God. I left my faith after about a year and a half of deconstruction, which is just critically thinking about why you believe what you. I hate the word critically thinking, right? Which is just critically thinking about why you believe what you believe, interrogating your faith, taking it apart layer by layer, piece by piece, checking to see if you find any veracity in the claims of the faith. And ultimately, for me, after about a year and a half of that process, I just came to the conclusion that I don't believe in anything supernatural or divine. Can we make a religion? We can make a religion. Yeah, fuck it. Let's get a cult going. Why not? Let's do it. As a Muslim, I'll still wish peace and grace upon you, my brother. Oh, thank you for the well wishes, Hippie King. Appreciate you being here. What's good? I eat uranium. How's your day going? How's you doing? Congratulations on the change. Hey, thanks. Oh, let me put myself on the back. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm probably gonna open up Live Studio anyway, so I can get my soundboard. I should really try putting like streaming on TikTok simultaneously again, but I don't know. I just don't want to. I can't continue. Like as soon as I see couldn't connect, trying to reconnect, it's one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate when things don't work out when they should work out. It's been so long since I used it. It has an update now. Oh sheesh. Okay. I don't know. What flavor of Christian were you? I was the Baptist flavor of Christian for most of my life, and until I was like 16, and then in the last 2 years of me being a Christian, I was in the Apostolic Church, like the Protestant denomination of Apostolics. Invisible pink talking snake that shoots rainbow lasers from cloaks. Yep, from cloaca. Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Right. Views low today. Come on, guys, take the bait. No, it's always like this, right? It'll start off. It's even a lot better. Like it's starting off a lot better than it normally does, which is like I'll be in the 30s for a bit, and then it'll slowly rise up to 100, and then like 200, and then from there, who's to say? But yeah, 7-8 minutes in. No, yeah, it's about normal. We're good. You indeed eat uranium. Also, your day is good. How's yours? I can't imagine that your day is very good after you're eating uranium, but my day was okay. It was a little lazy day, I worked my shift, went to sleep. Like an hour later, just woke back up. I'll probably get off of here early tonight. I'm kind of hungry. Should probably like make something, but yeah. But yeah, that's how my day went. It was mid. It was mid. Snakes were dinosaurs before they lost their limbs and became snakes. No, there were socks that God was wearing for sure. Base Baptist preteen. I don't know if base is the word for that. So you're adamantly choosing to like eternity. I don't even know what that like to like eternity. But so you're adamantly choosing to like eternity. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? To enjoy eternity? Is this like, huh? I don't know. Probably meant something else. Uh, can we agree that things are getting worse out there? I think overall things are getting worse. Yeah. At least in America, it's not going too great for a lot of other parts of the world. Uh, I'm glad we're at this point of relative peace in comparison to the rest of human history nowadays, but um, at least from where I'm sitting, it's not looking too good. Uh, Made cheesecake today and then topped it off with some uranium. Ooh, what's uranium taste like? Is it like salty? You have to add it like some caramel or something so it could be a little salty sweet. I don't know. Were you sad when you? Yeah, that's. I don't know why I've transposed the words, but the question still made sense in my head. So were you sad when you realized God isn't real? Yeah, I was sad for sure. I had to rebuild my whole reality around me. I had to learn how to trust people again. That was really tough because I'm like, in my mind, even the most well-meaning people could still spread something that's an outright lie to you. So it's kind of hard to be trustworthy of people after that, you know. So I had to kind of get back into that. That took a while. Trust myself on a lot of different things. Yeah, it was rough, man. It was a rough one, but I mean, we make it through, right? We'll take it. Also, I'm so sorry. If I'm seeming distracted, I apologize, but I gotta fix this thingamajigga real quick. Ugh. Get you down here. Why why is its shape so weird? Okay, there we go. Put that down here. There we go. Raylan51, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. I'm so sorry, y'all. Just give me a quick second. I'm trying to get set up here, and it's just not looking good. Okay, yeah, there we go. We'll do that. We'll do that. Fuck it, yeah, that'll do. Okay, we're good. What's up? Sorry you're late. You're not late. It's been 10 minutes. You're early. What's up, dude? Tastes like boogers. Got you. Got you. So you're adamantly choosing to spend eternity away from God. Oh no, I just don't believe that God exists. The adamantly choosing to spend eternity away from God would be to say I believe God exists, but I'm going to do everything to not be with Him. I just don't believe He exists. If God isn't real, then how can little B exist? Dude, that fucking what was that? I think it was an EP. It might have been an album. I'm gay. That shit was cheeks, dude. That's probably the point of it. Like, oh, cheeks. It's called I'm gay. So he wanted it to be cheeks, maybe, but that was such a stupid album, man. What do you think is the weakest argument for theism? I'd say technically the claims of like the archaeological claims, you know, because at least with the philosophical arguments, they could maybe possibly lead you toward God existing, but with things like the archaeology, like Shroud of Turin, found the Ark, and all these other things, like those are so easily disprovable, and so they're outright false. Right? There's no leg for them to stand on. Whereas, at least with the logical arguments, they have kind of a leg to stand on. So, um, and so yeah, it's like anything that says like, oh, we found this, we found that, this, that, and the third proves God. Do you think being dead is worse than being alive because it amounts to a deprivations of pleasure you otherwise could experience living? I think once you die, things that are it doesn't matter what's worse or better for you because there's no you to experience it or define it. So, um, I don't know, dude. I would say it's about as maximally neutral of a position as possible. It's like you don't get to experience pleasure anymore, so that's bad. But you also don't get to experience pain anymore, so that's good. So I think they cancel each other out perfectly. Turn your mic up. It's turned up as far as it possibly could be. It's turned up on my mixer. It's turned up in Streamlabs. I'm sitting as close to it as possible. You might have to turn your phone up instead. Have a great rest of your night, Canyon Master. No one knows God exists. It's called faith for a reason. Yes, this is true. Caption got me, not gonna lie. Respectfully, what's the logic behind that? Trauma from a bad church, low moments where you felt alone, or was it the type of thing where you were a younger believer? None of those three things. I believed, and then I eventually was like, okay, let me read the Bible to, better learn the claims of my belief. Let me do what's right by God, right? And then I finished the Bible, and I thought differently about God after finishing it, right? It's like the curtain got peeled back a little bit, and it was kind of upsetting a little bit. So I looked into the apologetics to try to fix the issues I was having, but they seemed kind of dishonest in their intentions. So I was like, why would they always have an answer for something that's supposed to be imperfect? So I don't know, like the fact that they always had an answer no matter what, let me know that, okay, well, there's somebody's probably trying to cover something up here. Is this even real? Let me look at the evidence of this being real, and then looked at the logical arguments, obviously prayed, archaeological evidence, historical evidence, and none of it came up with, none of it passed scrutiny, basically. So that's why I left the church and stopped believing. Even Christians are technically agnostic, and the honest one would say they don't know he exists but believe he exists. Yeah, I think agnosticism is when we don't have the answers for how the universe got here or if it needed to be created in some sort of way. At least the physical parts of it. The time we know wasn't created, but like the physical space and matter. If we don't have these answers physically, I think agnosticism is the best place to be at. If you could choose to believe again, would you? Probably not. If I could just choose arbitrarily, probably not. Your mic is good. Don't worry. Okay, thanks. Ask God if he could turn up your phone right. What about Blaise Pascal? What about him? Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess Jesus is Lord. Okay. What do you want me to say to that? Hail Satan. Hail Satan. Love exists, so does God. I'm not seeing the that's a complete non sequitur of an argument. I could just say, I don't know, rocks exist, therefore God doesn't. You know, it's just non sequitur. It's a non-start of an argument. No, you're an atheist, but do you have a philosophy for your life? I have a few philosophical ways of looking at the life, right? Like, iffy about free will. I'm compatibilistic about it, kinda ish. There's a few different positions I take. You just have to be more specific. See here. Does she have the sense to see God as evil after reading the Bible instead of trying to justify his evil actions or make excuses to justify his BS like Christians do? Yeah. Yeah, it was I've always tried to be honest with myself. You know, I don't know if that comes across too much in the stream, but I've tried to be as honest as humanly possible. So if I read words and I see these words and I know what these words mean, then I don't, like, as good as it feels to try to keep one's faith or to not let these thoughts like eat at you a little bit. I don't know. I feel like I just had to be honest with my dissection of the Bible. Why would I ask you anything? Okay, you don't have to ask me anything, Roberto's Corner, but you're also going to be the first skadoosh of the evening because if you're not here to add to the discussion, that's completely fine. It's your prerogative. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, but I mean, why would I keep you here? So everybody say goodnight to Roberto's Corner. It's going to take a little time off, but yeah, skadoosh, 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 man. Skadoosh. Have a good rest of your night, Roberto's Corner, and hopefully you find a stream that's more geared for what you want to see. You follow Dark Matter 2525. That's my second night hearing about him. Let me look him up real quick and subscribe for later. Let's see here. Oh, this guy. I've seen a couple of his little shorts here. Yeah, he's funny people. I really like the one where I don't want to join his channel, but I really enjoyed the one where he where it was about these guys going door to door, and then he ended up calling somebody who didn't want to hear the message like self-centered or whatever, and then he's like, yeah, we're the least self-centered in the entire universe. The entire universe and everything was made just for us, and it was I don't know, it was a funny video. Yeah, I like that guy. Didn't sub to him in this account though. Do you think when you read the Bible, you're reading in to feel better about yourself and not learn more about God, though? You just answered my comment earlier and said you didn't like the Bible the first time you read it or something. I'm not trying to make it like an interview or anything, but just don't understand why people would turn away from God. I mean, that's about as I was about as intentional and complete with the story as possible, right? Read the Bible, see things in there that make me think about God negatively. Look at the apologetics, talk to apologists to try to absolve these negative feelings that I had towards God. See that they were maybe not so honest with their intentions behind the things they were saying, which led me to believe that there's something that everybody was trying to cover up. And so I looked at the evidence of God being real because I'm like, okay, no matter what, I might have to leave church for this, but at the very least, I can substantiate that God does exist if there's a good reason to believe in him. And I didn't even find that convincing, so that's why I left. If you find that unsatisfactory or you heard the words that I said but still don't understand how I got from point A to point B, then I don't know how much more plainly to explain that process. Do I believe Jesus was a real historical figure and was really crucified? I grant it for conversation's sake, honestly. You know, I'm iffy about it, but it doesn't really affect my belief in God one way or the other, even if he was like just a prisoner that got crucified. So, I mean, that's cool by me if I just say yeah, right? You believe the earth was created by no one? I think the earth was formed by natural processes that did not require an intentional mind to form it, if that makes any sense. If religion has stuff like the Big Bang, it expanding, it's saying like you consisting out of mainly water and a lot of other stuff and the correct prophecies, would you believe it? I feel like if a religion made claims that we knew were objectively true with further science that we've only had in the past, couple hundred years, and it wasn't possibly any sort of metaphor that you can draw from it, it didn't make a bunch of other claims that were false, then sure, yeah, I would find that very convincing. Oh, what's up, Sword Fox? Good to see you today. What is a god? I've never really heard a good definition. I couldn't tell you. People have different definitions of God, but the one I go with is like a being with a mind and the intent to create or at least form the entire universe as it's currently formed. Also, some God equals good to see you. All right. Let's see what we got here. This guy's yapping a little bit too much. I'm gonna get you on out of the stream then. We got a zesty fester in the I'm just kidding, but yeah. If it's not the stream for you, you don't want to be here for the Yap Fest. I mean, that's completely fine. I'm not knocking you for it, but why be here then? You know, skadoosh. Have a good rest of your night. Appreciate you, but yeah, no, thank you. Jesus even said to greet those who aren't your own. Jesus said some good things and some bad things. He was in a mixed bag for sure. A painting has to have a painter. A painting don't create itself. It's the universe of painting. It's the universe of painting though, because I'm looking around. I'm not seeing a painting here. I'm seeing a universe that scientists, the people who study physics, the people who have actual educations, no offense needed. I mean, no offense, but who have whole entire educations in the field don't know or can't confirm whether or not the universe definitely had a beginning. So why would I say that it's analogous to things that we know definitely had a beginning or required intervention? If you know, but by all means, if you think if you think that's a good argument, present it to the Nobel Prize community. They would love to have it. Skadoosh, what's up, James? Good to see you. How's your day going? Do I think religion is false hope? Among other things, yeah. I think religion is primarily hope for an afterlife or hope for something like a fix for, you know, how life is in some way. In addition, I think it's a just like answers to unanswerable questions too. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? What's up, Meg Blackwolf? Good to see you. How you doing today? Do you believe there's any inherent meaning to existence? I don't believe there's any meaning to existence outside of what humans as individuals, you know, ascribe to different parts of existence, right? But do I think there's some sort of objectively demonstrable meaning to everything? No, not really. Can you give the verse in the OT that gives instructions how to own people? I don't know them off the top. Oh, I would love to. Yeah. In Exodus chapter 21, verses 20 through 21, Moses is speaking in that one, but you know, Moses is obviously the most important person in the Old Testament, arguably, because he was such a, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? A reliable prophet for God, at least until the end. You know, it says very clearly how one is to beat their slaves, how severely they are to be beaten, and, you know, versus don't just own slaves. And then God himself in Leviticus chapter 25, verses 44 to 46, gives very clear instruction to the Israelites about who they can take as property. As long as they're non-Israelites, they can own them as chattel slaves. Way to go, questioning. Hell yeah. What's up, Meg? Where did Jesus say some bad things? I got one for you. It's one of my favorites to pull up. Give me a minute. 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 Ugh. Give me a minute. It's in Luke. I might be able to pull off an easier one. Yeah, just the one where he said to hate everyone around you in order to be his disciple. And it was in the book of Luke. I forget it. Might be Luke 14:26, I think. Let me look that up to verify. Let me see if I'm remembering that correctly. There's also one where he outright condones slavery as well. Yep, Luke 14:26. I got that right. And the one that I'm talking about, I don't like talking out of my ass. So let me pull it up really quickly. And that slave who knew his master's will and did not get ready or act in accord with his will receive many lashes. Luke 12:47. So yeah. Jesus was quite the guy in the New Testament, not the complete and total bastion of morality that we claim he is. Are you more agnostic or atheist? I'm both. They claim different entire things. So I can't say like more or less one or the other because like I'm agnostic in that I don't know whether or not there is a God that's responsible for the universe, but I don't believe there's such a thing. So one's agnostic, one's atheist. Uh, let's see here. So belief, no need for evidence. Sure, yeah. I'm justified in saying I don't want any part of it, you know, and I think everybody is honestly. If Christians were worth a damn, y'all would shut up and stop being preachy. Yeah, I think that if it's a verse in Matthew, I forget what it is. It's basically shake the dust off your feet if you go into a town and they don't heed your message. You know, I'm not heeding the message. You know, we can scroll away if we want to, right? I don't believe in if you die, it's the end and you just don't exist. There's got to be something after either reincarnation or multiple theories. I don't think there has to be, right? All the evidence so far doesn't make any claims about it one way or the other. But I just go off of what does our consciousness and ability to experience things look like it is, which the evidence points to it being from just the brain that's in and of itself. And so, what would be the logical conclusion to your brain no longer working? So that's where I get my answer from. It's the best stream I come across. Oh shucks, week started off rough but ended nicely. For me, it's going the opposite way. My Monday was okay. Tuesday was eh. Today was it was you know lazy. I feel like tomorrow's not going to be very great, but we'll see. Uh, do I believe in the supernatural? No, I don't believe in the supernatural at all. Anything supernatural, divine, paranormal, anything like that. Personally. Good morning, my man. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. Good to see you, 18th Angel. See here, just read the verses. Doesn't say how to severely beat the slaves. The only place where they were beaten were by Egyptians. Okay, I'll pull it up because it seems like we're maybe starting to lie for the Bible, which I don't like even one bit. But yeah. Exodus 21:20 through 21. I'll just read some context here, so because people do love a good context, right? I'm going to read from. I'm going to read from. Okay, is 1 and 2 through 11. Are they relevant? I mean, it's all here. I'm in Exodus 21. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and read 21 verses before it. Fuck it, why not? Yeah, fuck it. I'll start from 12. If you want to read what's before, like 2 through 11, where he says when fellow Israelite servants are to be let go and like outlines the indentured servitude and year of jubilee. That's in the verses before it. You can read it yourself if you want to, but starting from 12, anyone who strikes a person with a fatal blow is to be put to death. However, if it is not done intentionally, but God does let it happen, they are to flee to a place I will designate. But if anyone schemes and kills someone deliberately, that person is to be taken from my altar and put to death. Anyone who attacks their father or mother is to be put to death. Anyone who kidnaps someone is to be put to death, whether the victim has been sold or is still in the kidnapper's possession. Sorry, I really got to get this alarm off. Anyway, anyone who curses their father or mother is to be put to death. If people quarrel and one person hits another with a stone or with their fist, and the victim does not die but is confined to bed, the one who struck the blow will not be held liable if the other can get up and walk around outside with a staff. However, the guilty party must pay the injured person for any loss of time and see that the victim is completely healed. This verse 20 I'm at, anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as the direct result, but they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property. So again, acknowledging that slavery is a thing that happens. It is a thing that people are practicing, like Israelites are practicing, and given very clear instructions on how severely you can beat them before you get in trouble for it. So no, no. Let's not do that. Do I believe in wetness? What? What? Do I believe in wetness? Is why water is wet? I don't. Technically, water isn't. Is water wet? Is it saturated in and of itself? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. Maybe if it's just like purely water, maybe I don't know. I couldn't tell you. How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well and spreading the truth. I'm doing all right, Dalton. How you doing today? Also, really quickly, if you saw that 20 from Cash App back in your account, there was an issue with Cash App on my end, so that's where that came from. I didn't so it got put back in your account. Be rest assured. I appreciate the thought behind it, but yeah, it went back to you. But thank you so much for it, regardless. So you're just skeptic, not just an atheist. What is a belief you hold that you could Socratically break down life to explore whether your belief is valid? I don't know. There's a lot of different things, dude. Whether or not there's a keyboard in front of my desk, I don't know. Like, what would you consider satisfactory? Because I feel like it's setting up for. I don't find your breakdown of things satisfactory, so I'm gonna try to put you on blast in front of the stream. But I could be jumping ahead of myself on that one. Just read Luke chapter 14 doesn't say anything about slave. I didn't say that Luke 14 said anything about slaves. Or what was it 14? Gosh, let me look it up really quickly. Let me keep this open. No, Luke 12 is what I was talking about. Luke 12:47. You can read a few verses up if you want to. You're a skeptic, can't prove you exist very easily. I'm able to ponder whether or not I exist, which requires a mind, which means I exist in order to have a mind. Statistics prove that getting into the Word of God is improving health, both mentally and physically. I don't give a shit about the utility of believing in the God. I want evidence that the thing is true before I believe in it. I could probably improve my life if I believed in any sort of random shit, right? But what matters less is whether or not the shit improves my life, but whether or not it's true. You can't be an atheist because I'm God. Father. I'm just kidding. Have you noticed how Christians don't use the Old Testament because it contradicts the New Testament? Yeah, I feel like it's pretty indefensible. I don't know why people still try to defend it. Why they want to argue, oh, this isn't for us, even though in the very last book, in Malachi chapter 3, verse 6, it says God doesn't change. So I don't know what to tell you. Heavenly Father, spare him, for he doesn't know what he is doing. Yeah, just to make sure to put it on blast for everybody, the God that Antoha Gaming believes in would get offended at me simply saying that I don't believe in God on a live stream, right? You were making fun of the other guy. Oh, my bad. Oh, did he? I think therefore I am. Checkmate anti-human consciousness. There you go, right? Unless somebody want to argue, oh, I'm like AI or something, in which case, like, I feel like that's a little bit too skeptical of a position. If you don't believe I'm a real person, I mean, maybe not, but I don't know what to tell you at that point. I know what I am. I'm just not on camera, so yeah. Do I believe in you? I believe you exist, sure. That was a law created by mankind devoid of spirit. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. So are you telling me that the all-powerful creator of the universe is beholden to societal expectations? Like, really quickly, let me pull up the Ten Commandments really quickly. Shoot, I forget what verses they were in. I know they're in both Deuteronomy and Leviticus, but can't remember. Exodus 20, my bad. So let's look at the Ten Commandments really quickly. People were having other gods before God. They were making themselves images in the form of things in the heaven above. They were misusing the name of the Lord. They were not keeping the Sabbath holy. They weren't honoring their fathers and mothers. They were murdering each other. They were committing adultery. They were stealing. They were giving false testimony against their neighbors, and they were coveting their neighbors' possessions. They were doing all 10 of these things. But for some odd reason, God had no issue in the 10 Commandments in Exodus 20 saying, hey, don't do these things, because he obviously didn't condone these things, right? So like I can't sit here and say God condones theft when he says very clearly, thou shalt not steal. Okay, fair enough, right? So to tell me that God, he didn't condone it, people were doing it at the time, but he didn't condone it, he just gave rules for it, when God apparently didn't condone theft and murder so much that he actively told people not to do it. It's just short-sighted thinking. Who hurt you, bruh? Your mom. Your mom hurt me. She gave me chlamydia, and it hurts my pee-pee. Do you believe you existed yesterday? I believe I existed yesterday, yeah. I forgive you after you mock me. I'll forgive you. I'm not, okay, I haven't yelled slurs at you, so I'm gonna go ahead and get you on out of here. Literally for the rest of the night. Skadoosh. Bye-bye. Take care. Didn't yell slurs at you at all. I sat here and said that the God you believe in is apparently offended by me having a live stream. So, you're the one that said God forgive him, so you can deal with that. Just you're done. You get no more attention from me. Good douche. Have a good rest of your night. You can go too. Yeah, you can go. If it's low tier, that's fine. But sounds like you want a high tier stream, so I'm gonna go ahead and time you out for the rest of this one, so you can go find one. Skadoosh, skadoosh. We don't pray in chat, so I'm gonna go ahead and get you on out of here. Skadoosh, skadoosh, skadoosh. Even in the Old Testament, the rules for slavery were more like indentured servants. That's an outright lie, and I'm going to prove it really quickly. You might be spreading misinformation, or you might outright be a liar yourself, but I'm going to prove that what you said is objectively a lie. 44. Why does my hyphen key not work? All right, there we go. 46. Leviticus chapter 25. So Leviticus chapter 25 talking about the Sabbath year. 25 1 through 7 defining what the Sabbath is. Numbers 8 through, not numbers, but Leviticus 25 verses 8 through, it doesn't really say, but it's basically given, it's telling like when you have Hebrew fellow Israelite servants who are indentured servants, like you're to let them go after 7 years. Maybe not their kids, maybe not their women or whatever, but let them go. So says that very clear as day. You can look it up yourself instead of just lying in my chat. It's right there in Leviticus 25. But in Leviticus chapter 25, verses 44 through 46, it says, your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents living among you and members of their clans born in your country, and they will become your property. You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property and can make them slaves for life, but you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. So very clear as day, making a very clear delineation between which people are to be ruled as indentured servants that you have to let go after 7 years and which ones you can rule forever. Israelites versus non-Israelites. So please stop it. Dark Black, you can go ahead and get out of my chat. Wait a second. Oh, John 3:16. For you so love the stream that you got skadooshed from it. Oh, have a good rest of your night. But yeah, you will not come back. Please look at the context also. What context is going to what context is going to absolve God of condoning slavery? Like, by all means. Slave tutorial by God is crazy. Yeah, dude's a piece of shit. But yeah, you can go. Who else needs to go? I feel like there's a couple other people in here who need to go, but we'll figure it out. What's your opinion on Burger? I kind of like Burger, sure. Are you not scared that you lost your salvation? No, I don't think that I've done anything worthy of me losing some sort of, like, if belief in God, that he exists, is so horrific that I'm now worthy of eternal punishment just for not believing that he exists. And I mean, at that point, what's there to be scared of, right? The planet we're on happens to be ruled by a narcissist. It's not my fault. But yeah, I've looked at the context, and that's why that was one of the issues. He's an atheist doesn't mean he can't use your own Bible to prove the lies in chat. Yeah, somebody's got to read their Bible, right? Because I've read it twice. I can guarantee a lot of people saying, oh, look at the context, haven't read it once. Technically, we who live by the book don't own anything, but we merely manage it. I don't know what you want me to do with that. John 4:20-69, Austin 3:16. If Jesus comes back right now, we're all cooked. I'm not cooked. No, I'm not cooked. If God cares more about people not believing he exists rather than, like, people using their quote unquote free will to rape kids, then I mean, at that point, God's got his priorities backwards. That's not my fault. Pro, you can go too. You can go. You're not here to be honest. You can have a good rest of your night. Skadoosh. Yeah. Take care. Have a good one. Yeah, we're not gonna just say, oh, look at the context. Here's why you no. I'm gonna save the finite amount of time I get existing and not respond to that. You've been cooked. Let's see here. Make a prayer, sir. I'll prove to you I am God and I hear your prayers. All right, here we do. You'll make a miracle right now? Okay, let's prove it really quickly. God, if you are real, put $50,000 in my PayPal. In your holy name, I pray. Amen. All right, let's see if it let's see what happens. Let's see, punishments in the Old Testament were merely temporary judgments. There's nothing temporary about you can own non-Israelites for life. Please stop it. I don't understand why y'all think persistence with your ability to, like, oh, your ability to want to persistently defend a lie means that the lie is now true. I don't know what to tell you. God, not punish human except the human that crossed the limit. What limit is there to be crossed, though? What made you an atheist? So for me, I left my faith because I just didn't see any evidence that it was real. You know, I looked at the archaeological evidence. It was all hoaxes. I looked at the historical evidence. It wasn't, it was full, you know, wasn't contemporary, wasn't firsthand, nothing reliable. Looked at the logical arguments. They didn't leave a God as the only possible conclusion with all their premises being true. And obviously prayed to God, didn't get an answer. So there we go. I feel like I missed a subscription earlier. I did. Bine W, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. You know, you don't even have $50. That's a good prayer. Oh, Christian love. We got the Christian love in the chat, y'all. Christian love. By the way, I got a few thousand. I'm in a case of emergency, I'll be okay, right? But you know, Christian love. Christian love. Going to sleep soon. I got work tomorrow. See you later. Have a good rest of your night, Sora Fox. Appreciate you being here. Bro's going to be a Unchained Christian if that's 15K up here. I said 50, but you know, fuck it. 15. Why not? Let's do it. How much? What percentage is that? 70% off. Yeah. Opinions on mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's my third favorite flavor. I love it. My church was amazing to my mother and me up until she died. Then it was a money left and right. Then suddenly needed money for surgeries and help. Came to the realization that God equals money and always has been. Yeah. I mean, money is about as close as you're going to get to, it's about as close as you're going to get to God, honestly. All right, Justin, you can go literally for the rest of your life. I don't know what to tell you. You got the wrong stream. You know, this might be other creators on YouTube that you can go and just be retarded to, but I'm just not one of them. So, have a good rest of your night. Skadoosh. 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 Man. Skadoosh. Have a good rest of your life. Appreciate you, but you will never, ever, ever come back. Thank you for subscribing, Dominant Persona. Love your stream, man. I love you being here. Thank you, Felix. God is in your VC right now. Is God in my VC? Let's see if God's in my VC. Oh, shit. Is God in my VC? Wait, I gotta, do I have to unmute? Yeah, unmute, so there we go. I've been told you're God. Are you God?
Yep, that's me.
All right, prove it.
I'm God in the most human form you can imagine. I would never let you go, sir. I would never let you give up on God.
All right, let's prove it. What can you do to prove you're God?
I can walk on mud. I can multiply potatoes. Yeah, you might laugh at that, but Jesus, he multiplied fishes, my friend. And I can multiply potatoes.
I can too. You just got to stick them in the ground, right? Just let them do their thing.
Right.
There you go.
But that is a miracle, sir.
And I mean,
and Jesus
multiplied
biology, the
man.
fishes by miracle. Well, if you think I can do that only with
I mean,
biology,
if you let the fish have sex, I mean, that's going to multiply them pretty quickly. Yeah, sure.
Well, you'd be mistaken, sir, because I used no physical potato to multiply potatoes.
Oh, you just multiplied them out, just like skadooshed them just out of existence.
Exactly, out of nowhere.
Hell yeah, man. All right.
See, and that's a miracle, is it not?
All right.
Because that's real.
Can you prove to me that you're God right now?
Yes.
All right. How would you like to do it? Dealer's choice.
What kind of proof do you want?
I don't know. Can you do all things?
Well, I'm omnipresent. My love is right here. When you prayed, when you said God was not there,
even better
I came
yet.
to you, did I not?
Even better yet. Wait 1 second.
Like there's 8 billion people in the world. How could I?
Real quick. I'm so sorry. Who cares, bitch? X0. Thank you for the 40 rupees, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, dude. Thank you so much for the 40 rupee super chat. Let's get a W in the chat for Who cares, bitch? X0. Thank you. All right, let's get back to it. All right, yeah, I'm back really quickly. I'm going to test your omniscience right now. I'm holding an
Sure.
object in my hand. I will not lie to you if you get the object correct. There's an object in my right hand. There's nothing in my left hand. If you tell me what the object is right now, I will drop everything I'm doing and start worshiping you. You get one shot,
That's
though.
good,
You know
my
everything.
son. That's good, my son. You should hold on to that Bible.
All right, so what is the object in my hand?
It's not a Bible?
No, it's not a Bible. I don't even own a physical Bible.
Oh man. Oh man. Well, I'm just the earthly God, you know.
I'm not interested in earthly gods. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We don't do earthly gods around here. I'm an earthly god if that's the case. By the way, let's see if anybody else could get it. What is the object in my hand right now? What is the object in my hand? Let's see if God has given anybody the gift of prophecy. Orange. It's not an orange. I'm a Christian. I believe that the Bible has more meaning than just what is written. I don't know, man. I don't know. Joachim Mock, but each one of you are intricately designed. Now, if you keep your heart beating, the source of all living, it's not called God. God is a government. That man is God. Okay, we're just saying words here. Biology keeps my heart beating, but Tim Dooley, the potato of life. There we go. Your hand, it's not my hand. It's not a pen. No, it's not a pen. It's not a phone. It's not a mouse. Whatever it is, I define it as an orange. Well, there you go. Right. According to Iran, it is that. To Iran, he is correct. Right. It's an orange because he defines it to be an orange. But speaking objectively, or as far as what other people define it as, it's not an orange. The item in your hand is what you're holding. Wait, you're cooking. Wait, you're cooking. Wait a second. Yeah, actually, absolutely. Yeah, that's what it is. The item in my hand is what I'm holding. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? No, by the way, the object was a bottle of hot sauce. Bottle of hot sauce was the correct answer. It's tungsten. I wish I had some tungsten. Just throw it at people. Play catch with it, right? Were you a creationist? When I was a Christian, yeah, I was a creationist for sure. If you ever want to talk to God and start believing again, you can always come talk to Tim Dooley. It's the closest thing we have to a God walking the earth. I disagree after that conversation. That was, if God is somebody who's been maybe drinking a couple beers and fucking around on a Thursday morning, then sure. But no, I don't define that to be God personally. You're holding a collection of atoms surrounded by air. There you go, right? There we go. Do you think everyone should be agnostic / atheist? I think everyone should acknowledge agnosticism. Because ultimately, if we're talking about things that have to go against the laws of our reality, then we're going to have to be agnostic to it, right? So I feel like at the very least, people should be agnostic. Atheist, though, I don't know. I'd recommend people just be what convinces them and what allows them to either better their life, or obviously convinces them first, better their life second, and no, convinces them first, allows them to, like, doesn't allow them to, like, keeps them in check basically, and also is what betters their life in that order. Are you looking forward to the lake of fire? Fire, 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 fire. Thoughts on intelligent design? I don't see the intelligence of making the Earth in a way where tsunamis and earthquakes can kill people. I'm also not seeing what's so intelligent about making UV radiation carcinogenic and then making it be, like, allowing it to be given off by the sun that we revolve around. I don't know. Have you considered that you believe in the mereological nihilism? Then, not only was there not an item in your hand, but your hand is ultimately not distinct from anything else. I mean, I don't know, dude. I grant agency or definitive definition, like just I grant definition for different things. Yeah, different collections of atoms at least, right? Trans rights, hell yeah, let's go. But no, I'm not a no. You are convinced God exists and it betters your virtue, and by all means, dude, if that works for you, I'm not being sarcastic when I say this. I'm happy for you, but we just disagree on that, and that's fine, right? Lalitha Krishnamurthy, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You need faith, brother. You met God. I didn't meet God. I'm sorry. I met somebody who couldn't show me their omniscience. They couldn't show me their omnipotence, and who, quite frankly, no offense, sounded like they were off of a couple beers for sure. You croaked before and saw nothing. A lot of people say they've seen nothing after they've croaked for sure. It seems to be common. Like it's kind of funny. I was just looking into this maybe a couple weeks ago, but apparently people that actually like clinically die and then are revived say they haven't seen anything, but people who are like near death say they happen to see things like Jesus and stuff. It's kind of weird how there's nothing being witnessed by people who aren't alive typically, at least if I'm taking them at face value, right? Why did 99.99% of all animals need to die with an all-powerful loving God? Very good question. Yeah, I'm not seeing the intelligence in that personally. Why is there a godless place if he created everything? I don't think he created everything. Or, oh no, you're talking about hell. No, I just got it. Yeah. Yeah. The idea that God is quote unquote outside of space and time, and also that he's, you can be separated from him, kind of disproves that he's omnipresent, right? I'm looking forward to the Lake of Fire. It's fucking cold here right now. Yeah. I'm in Michigan, and it gets hot for like one season, and that's about it. I dare you to say, Lord, I don't believe in you. Okay, got you. Lord, I don't believe in you, and you're also an evil piece of shit. Amen. What should we do when people tell us to fear God or face the consequences of not having faith in him? I just bring up something that they don't believe in, like Superman, and just say, believe in him or he's going to, turn you, like rip your arms apart. You lost your faith. That's the worst thing that can happen to a person. Even worse than getting shot. Like, that's worse than getting shot. Are we fucking joking? Hello? When you're close to death, you replay memories of your life. Your brain is active for just a little longer, making it possible for people to see what they would call God or angels. Yeah, it seems more often that, more likely that people are just seeing what they're convinced of and what they're familiar with, right? There's no God. Why a lot of humans since ancient civilization till now on this planet believe in God. That's an appeal to that's an ad populum fallacy. It's like people believe the thing doesn't really necessarily make it true. But to answer your question directly, I feel like gods were created as to anthropomorphize the answers to questions that they didn't have answers to, right? Like, what happens to this person now that he's dead? Why is his body's not moving? He's starting to rot. What happens to this person now? Or also, like, where did everything come from? Why is there something rather than nothing? These things got anthropomorphized, and that's where I feel like the concept of a god came from. God is more like Homelander than Superman. Amen, dude. As a former Christian who still kind of dabbles, it really depends on the church. If they are open to LGBTQ, a majority of churches aren't, which such. However, some churches do accept LGBTQ communities. I went to a Universalist church. It was like I was away from, we were on not vacation at all, but like visiting family for a week or so, and we weren't near our usual church, and we weren't about to drive there. And they were just like right across the street, so I said, "Fuck it, why not?" And yeah, they're pretty cool people, LGBT accepting of non-believers, accepting of yeah, they were awesome people. Loved them. What made you leave Christianity? For me, I left Christianity because I just didn't see any evidence that Christianity was real. I looked for the evidence. The evidence wasn't good, so I left. Right? That's felt like the honest thing to do. Being agnostic is to admit you don't know the truth. Christians know God is real. Atheists know God isn't real. Agnostics don't know they don't know anything. No, atheists don't, like, atheism and by extension theism aren't claims on your knowledge. They're claims on your belief, right? And so anybody that says they know God is real or that is objectively true, they should be able to provide evidence for it. And if they could, it would be accepted by everyone, or at the very least it would be it would be fringe to not accept it, like people denying gravity, for instance. So, and same with atheism, it's not a knowledge that God definitely doesn't exist. It's just a lack of belief in one, a lack of conviction in one. So, but you're right about agnostics not knowing whether or not a God is real. So 1 for 3. I'll take it. The judgment is fierce coming from followers. Yeah, I mean, I deal with it every night. It's fine. How can homosexuality be a sin if God created humans and animals? I'll do you one better. How is homosexuality a sin when God put the male G spot up our asses? You know, like why would he make the prostate feel so good and then just like put it up where he doesn't want to be in access? Are we fucking joking? Are we joking, Tim? No, I'm not coming back to the VCU. You've wasted my time, and as an atheist, I feel like I got a finite amount of time left, and I refuse to waste any more of it on somebody who can't demonstrate their omniscience or omnipotence and just like say random words. If a God even exists, what are the odds that the God that does exist is the exact same God that Christianity tells you that exists? And it makes zero sense. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's I feel like once we're talking about something that's so outside of our reality, outside of the way that our reality behaves, then you're gonna have to commit yourself to the position that you can't possibly know what the true nature of it. So it's also kind of interesting that a lot of the people claiming to me that God is definitely real and it's the Christian ones so happen to be American, but and what are you gonna do, right? J9, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. You're in tears. You just randomly found this stream. Welcome in, AJ. He created humans and animals. The enemy is roaming around seeking who he will devour. It seems kind of irresponsible that God would create a whole planet that he loves and then leave us to Satan. You know, doesn't that seem kind of odd to you? Don't answer that because I know the question is going to be like just some random like contradictory theodicies. Like, go for it. But to me, if an all-powerful being wants something, that being a relationship and for the best for all of humanity, and then that all-powerful being can get what they want no matter what. And so having to go jump through all these hoops, like, oh, there's another evil invisible force that ruins your planet, rules your planet, rules your planet, and you have to resist this evil force to ultimately be with this other invisible force. Like, it just makes no sense to me. You'd be hard pressed to find a Christian that will tell you that God is real because they believe he's real. Instead, they will insist he is real. You need to get your life right before you meet your maker. I mean, you're right about that, but that's more so an issue with their epistemology and not an issue with their with like an issue with my definition of the claims of theism and atheism. If God exists and Christians have divine protection from harm, play Russian roulette with a fully loaded cylinder. Yeah, there we go, right? Don't actually do that, but you know, yeah, there you go. Oh man. Let's see here. Oh man, so many bad questions in a row. Let's see here. You're not grateful that God came to you when you felt lost. How did Tom Dooley do that if he isn't omnipresent? It doesn't take if you're omnipresent, right? Here's what I'm going to do really quickly. I have another YouTube channel. I'm not going to say what it is because I like want to keep it separate, but I do like gaming stuff on there, or did gaming stuff on there. If you were to find that channel and comment on my most recent video, quite literally right now, I'll believe that you're omnipresent, right? Because you're also in this chat as well as, you know, in the comments of one of my other videos. So I want to pull up real quick. If you can find it, like literally right now, and comment on the video, I'll believe that you're omnipresent. Do I just go to sleep? I think you should be sleeping. Yeah, I think sleep is probably the play for you. Sleep is great. Go get some sleep. What made you change your view? Lack of evidence for God being real is what made me change my view. Are you open to having a discussion sometimes? Sure. Yeah, why not? Thoughts on Deus Ex Machina? I've never played it. Never played it personally. I've seen the movie Ex Machina, but haven't played the game Deus Ex Machina. I know they're not related, but no, I haven't played it. We miss you. The Lord leaves in 99 to find the lost one. Then tell the Lord to get off his fat, lazy ass and come find me, right? What made you change? Lack of evidence for God is what made me change. Is my gaming channel successful? Fuck no, that shit flopped. That shit flopped hard. But I mean, to be honest with you, I only put a couple videos on there, and like they weren't very good. So, you know, it happens, right? What made you change? Lack of evidence is what made me change. All right, I'm gonna refresh my video right now to see if God in the chat actually wrote, and sure enough, no new comments. So yep, GG, no case against God. Says to be in chat, says to be omnipresent, can't comment on my video, so easy. Have you played Postal 2? No, when it comes to games, I mostly play like shooters and puzzles. I think Postal's a shooter. I don't know. I've heard of it. I haven't seen what it's about though. Should we fear God? I think a good God shouldn't be feared. So if you think your God is good, then no. If you think your God's evil, then yes. Do you expect to be able to measure God somehow? What do you mean by evidence? Something that shows that some aspect of reality or some argument that shows God as the only possible answer. Do you want there to be a God? Do I want there to be a God? Don't depends. It just depends on the God personally. What's your opinion on megachurches? A very negative opinion of megachurches. Most of them aren't helping out their communities, hoarding wealth and buying Bentleys. They can go to hell, unironically. Oh, Chelsea, I've already knocked at the door, so I don't know what to tell you on that. So I don't know. Postal 2 is about indecency. Funny though. I do love some indecency. Have you read The Holy Science by Sri Yukteswar? I probably butchered that name, but no, I haven't read it or even heard of it. Do you believe that man is a biorobot created by a superior being? I mean, man is the most advanced robot today. I would say kind of biorobots in a way. Like we have some similarities in some ways, but I mean they don't have agency. We have agency. Do I agree we're made by a supreme being? No, not really. People really piss me off saying we were taken over by Satan for not having the same views. Like what kind of sheltered, closed-minded shit? Yeah, I'll never get it. I couldn't get it. Oh, you don't agree with me and my religion? Well, there's an invisible evil deity, force, whatever the hell, taking over your thoughts. Like, come on, man. Agree on the mega churches thing? Hey, look at us. Finally coming to some agreements. Do you believe there's a heaven and hell? No, I don't believe in either. So many interpretations of God and none can just steer themselves straight in their own path. Here's another thing that would bring me immediately on the spot, just uncompromisingly make me say, okay, well, yeah, I was wrong. Christianity is real. If every single denomination of Christianity were to, like, if one particular doctrine was proven to be the absolutely 100% correct one, so much so that every denomination and every other branch on earth were to say, okay, I give up. This is actually who got it right. I would come back to Christianity on the spot. For people to do away with their egos that much shows that God would have to be real. You know, that's such a supernatural thing to happen. It would prove it for me, but until the day that happens, I probably won't believe in it. Do I sin? I don't believe in sin personally, so no. Unreasonable standard about denominations. I think it's even more unreasonable that a self-evident doctrine or a doctrine where the original source of people's beliefs are to stem from one thing that was inspired by an all-knowing creator would lead to so much confusion. So I do agree that it's unreasonable standard, but it's unreasonable because of it's unreasonable due to the fact that unreasonable by way of unreasonability. What is your view about what they call after death? I think you just cease to exist personally. I think it's just like before you were born, basically. Is murder a sin? I mean, I don't like to say sin is to say like a transgression against God. You know, like that's the most accepted definition. Like you're disobeying God's law. So in that regard, no, technically, I hate to be like obtuse about it. Technically, no. But is it bad? Yeah, I'd say murder is bad. Of course, yeah. Why are we asking you questions if every answer is the same? I don't know what to tell you on that one. Man is subject to confusion because of the fall, then God should probably did a better what's the word I'm looking for? A better job of inspiring the word that was supposed to be used by people in order to come to Christ, right? Murder is sin, lies are sin. Have you ever lied? Of course I've lied. What I'm saying, and I've murdered. No, kidding. Of course, kidding. Yeah, I'm kidding. Of course. What I'm saying is religion isn't needed to have your relationship, but you don't need church/organized religion. I want to blow that idea out the water real quick. You say have a relationship, right? Have a relationship with who? Is it going to be Christ? Is it going to be the God of the Bible that I'm expected to quote unquote have a relationship with? If that's the case, then we're just kind of circled right back around to being in a religion. How Christian are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like 0 Christian now. On a scale of 1 to 10 back when I was a Christian, I would say I was about an 8.5 or 8.5, 9, somewhere in there. Have you played Doom Dark Ages? No, I do want to play the Doom games though. I really love them. Really, really love them. At least the gameplays of them, but I like the old one, like way back in the day, before the 3D graphics or whatever. But I haven't played any of the 3 new ones. No. God never trespasses your will. He gave us free will. It's kind of odd too. Another issue with free will I see, besides like how you can't claim it logically as a Christian, but beside the point, let's say somebody used their free will for evil, and an evil that affects somebody else. Like, let's say hypothetically, somebody used their free will to walk down the street and shoot somebody in the face. They used their free will, sure, but the person who got shot in the face probably didn't want to use their free will to get shot in the face at random. So that seems like a very, very inefficient system for God to set up if he wants like it seems odd to me. Makes 0 sense whatsoever to me. What's your view about creationism? I think it's false. I don't think the universe was intentionally created in any way. Do you accept the necessary existence? What do you mean by that? Christianity as a culture, tried others. Culturally, no. I'm not interested in anything culturally, personally. What does Psalm 137:9 means when it says, "Happy is the one who seizes your infants and dashes them against the rocks"? I feel like the entire psalm in that 137 was, oh shit, I forget what David was talking about in that verse, but I don't know. Where's Rip? I'm not sure. What's up, Canadian Fair? It's good to see you. You have to convince yourself God has been because something bad happened to you, or something you felt God let you down. Chill, Jalen. If that's what you got to tell yourself about my former beliefs, then I mean, by all means, believe it. But that's objectively false. I'm not going to debate you about what happened to me that made me turn away from God or stop believing in him, especially when I've gone over it multiple times. But if you want to believe, oh, you stubbed your toe, and stubbing your toe is why you don't believe in God anymore, then like I'm not going to try to take that from you. You need that by all means have it. Who's pinging me? Oh, hello. Let me mute Discord again, but okay, yeah, there we go. All right, back to it. This shit is sad. Oh, you can get out the stream then. It's fine. Let me cure your sadness really quick. Let me get you on out of here for the rest of the day. Skadoosh. Have a good rest of your night. But yeah, sorry. Just have a good rest of your day. Also, good shit, Canadian Ferrets. Yeah, get that spamming piece of shit out of here. Your very first skadoosh. How do you feel about it? Where will you go when you die, heaven or hell? I don't think either. You know, I don't believe in either. So there we go. Do you believe in a supreme being even a little bit? No, not really. A psalm was where the Israelites were captured by the enemies and had their children slaughtered. I'd have to read about it, but like happy is the one, especially when David was coming from like a pro. I don't know, dude. Again, I don't know though, so I don't want to instantly call you wrong because like I don't want to sit there and say, oh, you're wrong, but I don't know how you're wrong, so that would be dishonest. The Christians ever make good arguments? I mean, I don't think so, right? I feel like their arguments range from outlandishly laughably bad to short-sighted but onto something, right? Like an outlandishly horribly bad argument would be like, God has to be real for you to even talk about him. Like that's just a completely dumb argument, right? I feel like a short-sighted might possibly be onto something kind of argument, though, would be like the cosmological argument or something like that. Your first skadoosh, you're giving Satan. Whoa. When you die, your body just decomposes. Yeah, that's just it for you. Just GG, just no re. Because I'm right. I don't know if you're right. I don't know if you're wrong. I don't know if I mean, I haven't made any propositions about it, so I don't know if I can't say I'm right or wrong about it, but gotta look into it, right? Why didn't the TTS play on it? Probably because of the weird, like the way you phrased it. I'm not sure. Who cares, bitch? Thank you so much for the 40 rupee super chat. I appreciate it. Do we have to face consequences for not believing in God? I don't personally think so. You know, because I don't believe in God, period. But you know, if a God did exist, I guess it depends on how much it cares about people believing in it, and what they feel is an appropriate punishment, if any, for simply not believing that they exist. Ask me personally, if a God were to say, you deserve to be punished for all of eternity because you simply didn't believe I existed, I'm going to consider that God petty, narcissistic, self-centered, and a massive douche. So, no, I wouldn't worship such a thing to begin with. How long have you been an atheist? I've been an atheist for 10 years. And but by the way, again, thank you so much again for the 40 rupee super chat. Who cares, bitch? Satan prances around as an angel light, twisting the bad to look good or the good to look like bad. I don't think Satan was responsible for me saying that God giving commandments on how, or condomens on how one, commandments on how one should own slaves as property is I don't think Satan is the one twisting that to look bad and it's actually good. If someone's doing a light spam for a question, they have like mute them for a minute and just give them a warning. It depends. Like if they're sending like maybe once every, I don't know, like I don't know, 30 seconds or so, that's fine. But if it's like excessive, obviously mute them. If it's like a genuine question, and even if it's like really excessive, I'd say maybe warn them, give them a minute or so. Yeah, just let them know, like, don't spam it. I don't know. Honestly, you might have to just fly by the seat of your pants. Honestly, we're still figuring shit out. You don't believe in God, but do you believe supernatural can exist? I think it's possible for sure. I just have no reason to believe that it does. Sorry for the unpolite comments. I accept your apology. Why did you stop believing? I just don't see any evidence for God being real. I looked at the evidence. The evidence wasn't good, so had no choice but to do the honest thing and say it's not for me. You know. You want to be saved, your turn is next. Saved? I don't think there's anything to save me from, so I don't know how to answer that one. What's up, Darren? Good to see you. How's your day going? I believe in God because he speaks to me and lets me know things that I didn't even know I could comprehend. I have no reason to believe you, but even if I did, I have no reason to believe that what you experience is actually from one particular divine figure. It could be a demon that's telling you that for all that you know, right? Think about this. How do we end up in a planet out of trillions that has a perfect environment for human life? Oh man, that makes I don't know where to start with that one. I feel like the fact that there are trillions of planets out there that can't possibly support life that are also claimed to be created by God I'm not seeing how that would prove a God, right? Like I'm not seeing how that's miraculous. Like a God created a whole universe just for us, but then created most of it to be unlivable. Like make that make sense. Um, Secondly, the Earth has been even hostile to life for most of its history. For at least billions of years, it's been existing, but covered in lava. You know, just didn't have an atmosphere yet. It was awful. No liquid water on it. Not a good place to be. So, kind of ignores that. And three, our planet also isn't even like currently entirely perfect for life, right? We still have earthquakes and hurricanes and tornadoes, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions. You know, the sun gives off UV radiation that gives us cancer. Like, I wouldn't call that perfect in the slightest. Only 29% of our planet's surface is actually land that we could live on. Only, wait one second.
The fact that you're open to discussion is amazing. Keep questioning things instead of blindly believing everything.
Okay, right to that. Just give me a quick second. But yeah, only 29% of our land is our planet's surface is land that we can live on. Only 3% of our water is fresh, so we can drink it safely. 66% of our land is arable. It's yeah, I'm not seeing the perfection in that. Also, who cares, bitch? Thank you for the 100 rupee super chat. Thank you so much. I sincerely appreciate the kind words. I feel like if we're going to move forward with this, something that I feel like more or less kind of opposed to, then the way to do that, to start that, would be to have an open dialogue. But yeah, thank you so much for the 100 rupee super chat. Appreciate it. God told the atmosphere it can come late. Okay, dude. All right, BBO, that's enough. That's enough out of you. Also, what's up, BBO? Good to see you. How's your day going? Bro, stop rambling. I'm giving answers to questions and making sure that my answers are intentional and I leave no stone unturned. There's cold hard truth and evidence that the apostles were tortured and killed in most brutal ways for their belief. I mean, that's the claim, but there's no contemporary evidence for the apostles dying. So, yeah, sorry. It's very little evidence that most of them even existed, but that's beside the point. You believe in a higher power, but no one knows what it really is. I mean, that's fine. Like kind of a deist sort of position. Yeah, that's cool. Cool place to be in. I'm glad you found what convinces you. Seen a lot of people using the God of gaps here. If it doesn't make sense at the moment, it must be God. Yeah, people have been doing that for literally all of human history. So I guess we're not entirely free from it, right? Satan doesn't exist either, but if he did, I'd worship him and go to hell with him as opposed to living in heaven with an infant murderer. Yeah, fair take, yeah. A world drowner, a slavery condoner, a rape condoner, an infanticide commander, familicide committer. Yeah, there's a lot of bad things about him, but yeah, fair take. What's up, Rip? Good to see you. Are you not afraid to return to nothing? No, not even in the slightest. I didn't have a reason to be afraid of the way that I was when, like in 1582. So I have no reason to fear what I feel like I'm going to be like after I die, whenever that is. You're a Satanist, but Satan doesn't exist. Yeah, I know the Satanists aren't actually like, devil worshippers. Like, yeah, I know. It's a common misconception. God of the yaps. All right, dude. You know what? Enough. That's enough out of you. That's enough. That's enough. Speaking of which, I'm going to give you mod real quick. Yeah, why not? I'm going to sit here and get insulted and then give the person that insulted me mod. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Why not? Yeah, let's get some more peeps in here. I'm not saying you shouldn't be an atheist and I respect your decision, but what made you switch? I just looked for evidence of God being real and found none of it convincing. That's why I stopped believing. If we didn't know pain and we could never understand true peace, I'm not sure what the true peace is supposed to come from somebody dying of cancer, especially somebody dying of cancer as a child. I'm not seeing the peace that's supposed to be derived from that. When you died from fentanyl poisoning and was gone for 12 minutes, you truly felt deeply asleep. You were gacked up on that whoop chicken. Hey, okay, no, I'm kidding. I'm glad you recovered from it, though. Truly am, for sure. Where I am right now is that God could be real or something similar, but without proof, I'm not going to devote my life to someone who might not exist. Yeah, exactly. Sounds like an agnostic atheist to me, but hell yeah. You explained to me how man has tricked humanity into accepting doctors over spiritual parenting. We are being injured in the unseen and told as a health condition, not man. I wouldn't say that. I'm going to be more trusting of modern medicine over like spiritual medicine or any sort of like unaccredited medicine every single day of the week. I'm sorry. I'm not going to trust them 100%. Obviously, there's some shit they're hiding from us, and there's some shit that doesn't entirely work as best as it could. There's some price gouging going on. A lot of medications are meant to exacerbate side effects. Or exacerbate, I don't know, but make side effects worse so that you need medications for them. But that being said, modern medicine and its leaps have vastly improved life expectancies, and so yeah, I'm not gonna, yeah, I'm not joining you on that one personally. Hell fear is a sign of an immoral soul. Oh, there you go, right? God of the Gets. I feel like God constructed Megan Thee Stallion's Get from hand. I don't know, dude. Every time I look at him, it's like that couldn't have been made naturally. He must have just the perfect amount of cheek meat. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. So if you're saved, you can't be unsaved. Oh, I'm good to go then. Hell yeah, let's go. Do you think that there's a non-zero chance that Jesus will return? No. I feel like there's a 0% chance that Jesus will return. Yeah. Yeah. I'm at about 0% on it. I feel like once I grant anything that could make that number larger than 0, then I'd have to grant a bunch of other things, and like the whole thing explodes basically. I think therefore I am. Do you believe you don't exist? I know I exist. Yeah, I know for a fact I exist. To even ponder that question shows that I have to exist in some regard. So, yeah, I know I exist. God of the and God of that too. Not that it matters, but are you white? No, I'm well, a quarter. Half black. Both of my granddads were black. One of my granddads, God damn it. My grandmother on my mom's side was Native American, and my grandmother on my dad's side was white. She was of Polish descent. But yeah, like so yeah, just half black. You know what, Ben Butt, I'm gonna get you on out of here. Yeah, sounds like you're not here to be productive. Like, stop rambling, and then when I answer other questions, like, does this guy actually answer questions or just rambles? Yeah, it sounds like this ain't the stream for you. I'm gonna go ahead and get you on out of here. No, just fuck him. Fuck him. Get out of here. Skadoosh. 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 Do not come back. Do never come back. You'll probably be back tomorrow. Cool, you're a good mix. What's a good mix? What's that supposed to mean? I don't believe in bad mixes. Unless it's something like, I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of a really bad mix. Hot take. I think mixed women are the most beautiful women on the planet. It doesn't matter what they're mixed with. Just something about like two separate somethings coming together. Just, I don't know. That shit just hits for some reason. Maybe just like unique looking people. I don't know. But yeah, that shit hits. Especially when it's some random shit like, oh, you're Comorian and Lao. It's like, yeah, bring that ass here. I don't know. But anyway, are you anti-theist? Kinda, a little bit, yeah. Do I think the world would be better off without religion, or the most optimal world is one where religion doesn't exist? Yeah. Do I think there's no good reason whatsoever to believe in religion currently? No. So in that regard, like, anti-theistic, but not enough to be an activist about it, if that makes sense. Mixed goth women, that's overpowered. That'll be too overpowered. I don't mean there's a better mix than okay, I got you. How's the stream been? I'm pretty late. It's been okay so far. How you doing, Draco? How's your day going? If you had to put a number on it, what do you think the probability of us living in a simulation? I don't know, like maybe something outlandishly low, like I don't know. I can't put it above like 2%. Beautiful women are beautiful. Race doesn't matter. None. I agree with that for sure. But if I had to rate them, I would say like mixed women are at an 11 out of 10, and every other race of women is like a 10 out of 10. You know. Austin, I don't know what you want me to do with that, dude. Like, if you think it takes more faith, sure. Now what? What's your take on agnostic people? I am agnostic. I believe that it is unknowable whether or not there exists such a God, right? But I just don't have a good reason to believe in one. I feel like if there was no religion, the world would be more chaos. Real or not, religion somewhat holding up the world. I'd agree with the current state of the world, sure. Like one where religion has been introduced, sure. But I feel like there could be a world out there where humans don't have to use old books and old stories to like as a means to toss up their moral convictions, you know. Why are you an atheist? Lack of evidence is why I'm an atheist. Looked at the evidence. The evidence didn't work. Only the fool says there's no God. Only the fool says that a book with talking snakes is true. Explain condoning nocturnal emissions as acceptable abuse. Man have tricked humanity that they don't have psychic ability or higher sense. What do you mean condoning nocturnal emissions as acceptable abuse? What does this even mean? All right, like what's this even mean? What's that even mean? Come on. What are we even talking about? There's no way this is base reality if simulating life is possible. Sure. I feel like there's some logical issues when it comes to simulation theory. Like, why would people running a simulation or any whatever's running a simulation, like, why would it ever allow what is simulating to even know about such a thing, or even theorize or hypothesize such a thing? I don't know, man. It's just too much to it. Mostly just mixed European, German, Italian, Hungarian, Dutch with some Native American and Jewish. Oh, hell yeah. L'chaim. To life, l'chaim. I don't believe in afterlife reality, so if I died, I would just be seeing my creator. If there was no creator, then I'd be seeing nothing. There would be nothing. I don't think you see nothing. I feel like that's kind of something that a lot of people get wrong, is that they feel like, from with me saying there's nothing after death, they feel like, oh, I'm just going to float through blackness or see blackness and that'll be it. Like, same as like if you were in like a sensory deprivation chamber with your light, like that's all you get for all of eternity. No, I think it's just you as a being dies, and it's where you cease to exist. It's like before you were born, basically. Do you believe man's life is important? I personally think that, yeah, it's important. I don't think there's an objective, inherent meaning to us being alive. But that being said, I subjectively think that it's important that humans are here. If Christianity improved the world, would you be more likely to believe its truth claims? That's a very good question. I feel like no. Because like I could probably, if I could just arbitrarily make myself believe in anything, like I know this wasn't your idea, but let's say, like, I'll just explode the idea just to make you see where I'm coming from. If I could arbitrarily choose my beliefs right now, and I could choose anything that I know for a fact would improve my life, would what I choose, if it's a religious claim, like definitely be true or be closer to being true just because I was able to derive some sort of a positive utility out of it? No, not necessarily, right? Like, if I believed that Captain America was God and started using that to better improve my life and better value things like loyalty, respect, things like that. Sure, it could work for me, but would it make Captain America true, or should that alone give more credence to the idea of Captain America being real? No, not really. So it's only important because you think it's important? Yeah. I think like with anything, if you were to say that, I don't know, take for instance your house, right? If you consider your house important, I don't consider your house important, then these aren't contradictory. And just because you have some sort of subjective importance to something doesn't mean that I have to, and vice versa. But yeah, I think it's important. What I think shouldn't have any bearing on whether or not you think something else is important necessarily, and that's all there is to it. I think I'm at 12.5% ish native. Great grandma on my dad's side was full of Cherokee, so if that math checks out, yeah, it checks out 1/8. Yeah, my grandmother was Blackfoot from like they're in modern day Montana. What would you say to people who believe murder is okay, that life is just fertilizer? I say stay the fuck away from me and turn yourself in. Yeah, because I think that's a very unempathetic thing to do, and I feel that when somebody physically is less able to feel what has evolutionarily been selected for in empathy, then they are quite literally mentally ill. And I would prefer if somebody's kept their mental illness away from me. Tell me what caused the Big Bang. Nobody knows what caused the Big Bang, but there's no reason to think that a God did it. So if you think life isn't important, it's no longer important. To me, I'm not sure what you're like. T, we were doing so good. I'm not sure. Like, surely we have to. You understand what I'm saying, right? That somebody's personal ascription of importance to something is what's going to be what makes it important to them and only them. There could be an agreement with other people, sure, but if there's another position that's held by other people that disagree with the first group, then there's no objective who's right about the importance of it, who's wrong about it. It's like all about personal ascription. For the people saying, why doesn't God show himself? He has. Jesus literally existed. There's 500 eyewitnesses. I'm going to stop you right there. The claim about 500 eyewitnesses is unsubstantiated. It's just claimed by Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 6. No contemporary evidence of these 500 people. Paul wasn't even there. He wouldn't even know. Even if you took the claims of the gospel and the letters at face value, I really need some water. There still wouldn't be, just like if I were to write in a book tomorrow, I flapped my arms and flew to Saturn and then flew back to Earth. And this is true because 15 million people saw me do it. Would that make it true? No, it wouldn't. So show who was the witnesses and then go from there. But yeah, I really, really need some water. I am so fucking thirsty right now. Okay, give me a second. It's not true. We got manuscripts. Manuscripts are just literally that, manuscripts of the story. It's not evidence of the story necessarily. Right, like the Dead Sea Scrolls isn't evidence that the Torah and its claims aren't true. It's just evidence that people have been telling the story for a long time. But anyway, manuscripts got people who wrote about Jesus even from other places. Again, not firsthand at all. And even beside that point, none of them mentioned even within their third-hand accounts, they don't mention the resurrection. Wabba. Materialistic understanding of a spiritual text will get you nowhere. I mean, I'll even go so far as to say sure, but at that point, one is justified in saying that there is no demonstrable or objective or verifiable way to properly understand a text in a way that would make them believe in it. If you want to say like some nebulous, spiritual, supernatural thing is what's going to help people understand the thing, then I mean, where do you want me to go with that? If it can't be held up to any sort of scrutiny, like what am I supposed to do with it? Oh, you're just testing my logic. Okay, got you. Got you. The evidence points to a designer and creation points to a creator. Follow the evidence, my guy. The evidence does not point to a designer, unless you want to argue that designer also made the horrible, inefficient, and deadly parts of our world too. And also, creation points to a creator. It's just front loading. It's a baked in conclusion, right? It's a circular argument. The universe is created, and it's created because it's creation, and it's creation because it's created, and the circle is just going to go on forever. Prove that it is indeed creation and not just existence, which doesn't front load creation one way or the next. Because just as easily as you could say, oh, creation is created, I could just say the universe isn't created and it's not creation and it's natural, and that proves that God doesn't exist. And both of us are making bad arguments in that case. Stop using Jesus for views? No, thank you. I've been lodging marbles up my urethra. How does it fit into an atheistic worldview? You've been lodging marbles up your urethra. How does that fit into an atheistic worldview? You know what? That's convincing evidence. As a matter of fact, yeah, I'm convinced. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do it right now, but no. Every single discipline of, I'm guessing, disciple of Jesus died a brutal. Again, these are just the claims, dude. There's no contemporary evidence of the apostolic martyrdom. And if you don't believe me, I promise you, just Google it right now. Golden ratio, they say it's the signature of God, though. What? What about the golden ratio as a signature for a God existing necessarily? Like, what's the logical link between golden ratio versus an intentional mind had to create the entire universe for it to exist? Did I stop streaming on Twitch? I did not. Well, I mean, I'm on hiatus basically, right? So there's an issue with the Streamlabs software, and so I can't multi-stream right now. And so they're going to be coming out with an update. They know the issue. It's like it's been escalated and everything. So I quite literally just cannot stream to like simulcast to it from from Streamlabs right now. So when they fix it and when they offer an update, I'll go back to streaming on Twitch and Instagram and Facebook, and well, start streaming on Facebook and back to streaming on Kick and Trovo too. I don't know if I'm going to stream on Twitter though, because you gotta kind of pay Elon to get that. I don't know. It depends on where this goes. If I can afford the extra, I mean, I can afford it, but like, if I can justify spending that money to start going live on Twitter again, then sure, I'll go live there too. Oh, he got the fuck out of here. Let's go. Skadoosh. Golden ratios everywhere. Seems like a descriptive part of our reality then, not something that's necessitates a God creating it and that also fits our reality. Plus, I'm not seeing how the golden ratio is quite literally everywhere. What made you lose belief? I just looked for evidence of God being real and didn't see any convincing. That's why I left. So again, prove you exist, or are you a hypocrite? I already said how I exist, right? I'll prove I exist again right now. Do I exist? Let me think about it really quickly. Oh, I'm thinking about it. Thinking requires a mind. It requires a mental process. A mind in and of itself, no matter whether it's attached to a body or not, is something that exists. Me pondering it proves that I am the agent that is pondering it in whatever regard I'm pondering it, meaning that I definitely exist. So very easy peasy lemon squeezy. Hope they get it fixed very soon. We got to get your message out for real. Yeah, I can't wait to start streaming on Twitch. We'll start back streaming on Twitch and Kick and stuff. I'm over 50 followers on there, so I just need my hours. I can get affiliated over there too. That'll be really cool. But yeah, I can't wait, man. I want to spread this as far as COVID. Thoughts on the you're real, but everything's a simulation idea? I don't personally ascribe to it. I feel like saying that we're in a simulation leads to some logical issues. So I don't know. How about the evidence of the sky being exactly what the prophecy said it would be on the day of crucifixion? Do we have weather reports from 2,000 years ago? And even beside the point, like, can we prove that these prophecies were written post-event or pre-event? What proof or evidence do you have that atheism is accurate or correct? So atheism isn't a positive affirmation, no matter what Darth Dawkins or any other sundowning debate bro want to tell you it is, but it's a lack of belief in a God or gods. So what proof do I have in order to lack belief? The lack of evidence for any of the positive affirmations of a God existing is why I am at the very least justified in reaching a hypothesis that there does not exist any of these things. Am I completely like, is it true necessarily? Who's to say? Nobody can know. But, no, it's not like some religious claim that is making a positive affirmation. And so I don't know what to tell you. How about the evidence of this? Already said that. Did you say that before? Or am I just, okay, I'm rereading stuff. That's on me. You didn't spam it. Congrats on 50 followers then. COVID? Yeah, COVID. Yeah, COVID spread worldwide. I wanna do that. See, Psalm 14:1, the fool says in his heart there is no God. It's just classic Psalm. Genesis, I think it's like 3:2 or something like that, somewhere in there. A snake talking. Numbers 22, a donkey talking. The Gospels, somebody being born without, from a woman that wasn't inseminated, and also a guy rising from the dead. So, one of us believes in talking animals and zombies. The other person doesn't. Which one really is the fool? He will skadoosh anyone making points worth discussing. This dude loves cherry picking. Oh, wait, no, I remember you. You're a dishonest piece of shit. T in the chat, just to make sure, before I skadoosh you for literally the rest of your life, because I'm sick of looking at you. T in the chat, it's among many other people in the chat right now, have successfully managed to not be skadooshed after making pretty solid points and offering pretty stimulating conversation, and they make it no secret that we disagree religiously. It's just you that is so retarded and can't get it together and so whiny that you get muted once for being a bitch, and you got to make it your whole personality. So I'm gonna go get you out of here for the quite literal rest of your life. Luckily for you, if I'm just somebody who's like only attacking low hanging fruit, I'm such a bad debater, I should die, all this stuff, yada yada, you don't have to see me ever again. So I'm gonna go ahead and hide user on this channel. You will never ever come back. Have a good rest of your life. Skadoosh, 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 skadoosh. Your day is over. Your time is done. Your time is up. Get done. Get over with. Get him up out of here. Anybody miss him? Oh, okay. Oh, is he typing? Oh, I guess we'll never know. Skadoosh. You're the smartest one here. I didn't call you stupid. I called you the opposite. Well, maybe not the opposite necessarily, but I'm saying like, yeah, we're having a discussion despite our religious disagreement. So should blowing that guy out of the water that says I just mute anybody that makes a decent point. Sorry you missed that, dude. You're doing just fine, dude. I promise you. You're doing just fine and more. No, he's, you know, if I'm a skadoosh him forever, then it's, you know, I want to do that myself anyway. So no, you're doing just fine. I promise. Good. Douche. Why you leave? Do you know? Yeah, I left religion, or I left Christianity after about 1.5 years of deconstruction. No, you're not skadoosh. Left religion after about 1.5 years of deconstruction, and deconstruction is just critically thinking about why you believe what you believe, interrogating your faith, taking it apart layer by layer, piece by piece, checking to see if you find any veracity in the claims of the faith. And ultimately, for me, after about 1.5 years of that process, I just came to the conclusion that I don't believe in anything supernatural or divine. Will you discuss other religions than Christianity? From a first-hand standpoint, no, because Christianity was the only other religion I was a part of. Like from their claims and like what I think about their books, I might start talking a lot more about Islam soon because I have read the Quran too. No, I wasn't talking about you. I was using you as a point of somebody who very clearly disagrees with me, but who I didn't just like skadoosh just because we disagree. But somebody said it's what I did, so I had to, you know, give my ops credit for a minute. Have you ever been to an Orthodox church? No, I'm not interested in going to one either. What's up, Anderson? Good to see you. I remember you. How you doing today? Really appreciate you, man, because you are open to our questions. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I feel like if we're going to have a discussion, it's the least I can do. See here, or did you just like sin more? Oh yeah, I'll tell you the sin that I love the most. It was having sex with your mother before marriage. That's the sin I love the most. I love that sin so much that I was like, oh man, I can't have God watching me fuck this guy's mom so often and so tenderly, so passionately, and so disgustingly. So God definitely doesn't exist, so I can do this without guilt. That's why I left. No, I'm kidding, but I mean, at first, and he just resorted to last Thursdayism. Oh, well, there you go. Do you think there's any realm beyond the material? If I had to take a guess, I would say no, but I could be wrong about that. Father, what do you believe in now? Like science, evolution, just making money and living a full life? For me personally, the purpose for my life, like as far as what I believe in, I acknowledge science because they're able to, for things to even become quote unquote science, like they have to pass peer review and all these other things. So I feel like that's good enough reason to accept these things as true. But I mean, I was that way as a Christian too. I just believed that God was the one ultimately responsible for it. But it's like, as far as purpose and how I live my life, I try to ultimately get to a position where I can do all the things I'm interested in doing and make the lives of the people around me as easy as possible. You're a bad guy and no wonder you're so angry, coward. Are you the dude I just skadooshed? Did you just come back here tenderly for the win? You got to do it tenderly, man. You can't just ramrod it down the middle, dude. You got to do it slow with some passion. You know, got to put your hips into it. You know, can't just lock it up. Can't just do it with the arms, man. You gotta That guy would know though. He would know. Jimmy the Jew from Philly. Oh man, if I make the joke I wanted to make, man. If I made the joke about Philadelphia that I wanted to make. Oh man. If I made the joke I wanted to make. Never mind then. I'll just let you chirp. It's okay. Oh, you got him out? Okay, fuck that guy. Yeah. Skadoosh. Have a good rest of your night. What if your peers and reviews could be bought by lobbies and interests? Science can be bought. Possible, sure. Do they show their work though? Is the question. And in the case of every scientific theory so far that has mounds of evidence for their claims being true, they're able to show their work. Could they just be making stuff up just for fuck with people? I mean, sure, but at that point you have to be skeptical about literally everything. And I feel like personally for me that's just past the point of reasonability. What's your view about the sin that made corruption? Let's see. What is your view about sin makes creation corrupted and ugly? I don't agree with it. I feel like it's just a cop out. Like for instance, we know for a fact that earthquakes and hurricanes and all these natural disasters have been happening for longer than humans have been around. Longer than life has been around. You know, it's like well, the Earth was here. It used to be very hot and very hostile to life. I don't think sin is the reason behind why the Earth has acted like that, because we weren't here yet, so we couldn't have sinned and made it act like that. Same with the sun. Same with all the issues with the water on the planet. So I just don't ascribe to the idea personally. Physical laws exist for a reason. What reason do you think? What reason do you think? Did he get skid? No, he didn't get skadooshed. What's your view on the multiverse? Does it exist? I don't personally believe in it. No. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like, again, it's just too many. Maybe I'm just coming from way too, I wouldn't even say closed-minded, but from a little bit too much of it, like making things have to make sense sort of way of thinking. But I don't know, like, I just don't personally buy it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it necessarily, but anything past the point of something with explanatory power having as least amount of assumptions as possible, I'm going to be more skeptical of, you know? How's your relations with your Christian friends and families, or do they not know you're an atheist? Everybody in my life who's asked knows I'm an atheist. The friends that I used to have back in the church and stuff that found out, they tried to make me a project and try to bring me back. They were devastated. That friendship didn't last very long. With my mom, she didn't like it either. Same deal. We don't talk nowadays, but for different reasons than our religious disagreement. And my siblings didn't care too much. The friends I have nowadays, Christian or not, they don't care either, or they don't seem to care enough to try to make it an issue. So, yeah, I can at least appreciate that. How do you respond to historical claims in the Talmuds and those, I'm guessing, corroborated in the Gospels, as in Jesus being a real person who was called a curse and that he was crucified? I'll grant it. I'll go so far as to say that I grant that there were people that wrote about Jesus being a person that was walking around and being crucified. Not they didn't get any firsthand account of him, but so I'm skeptical of that. But just for conversation's sake, I'll grant it, because why not, right? Is it possible that during a time where the Romans and the Jews were at war, that somebody just got nailed up to a cross for making too much of a stir and then thrown into a mass grave? Sure, why not? Was he the son of God? Whether or not this person existed? Absolutely not. Why do you think there's no God? I just don't see any evidence for one. If I come from my grandfather, why does my cousin exist? Somebody asked about did somebody ask about the comment, like evolution or whatever? How do you think we were created? I think that humans formed, or the initial, like the last universal common ancestor was synthesized through abiogenesis, and from there we evolved. Church is a hustle. I don't need a middleman between me and God. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either, right? Like, also, if churches could provide, like if God could provide for his churches, you know, why do they need my money to keep the lights on? God could just keep the lights on anytime he wanted to. What do you think about Dillahunty? I like Dillahunty. He's kind of funny. I like his no nonsense style, and I feel like he's very pragmatic in his approach. I tend to enjoy him for sure. Do I believe in a necessary existence? Sure. I just think that the thing that necessarily exists is the universe itself. Even Jesus is a middleman between you and God if you believe that religion. Yeah, true. Unless you're a Trinitarian, like they believe that Jesus is fully God in some way. Are you excited for the GTA 6 release? I'm very excited. Yeah. GTA 5 is my favorite game of all time. Is it possible that you may have not learned enough or found a church that's truly teaching the love of Christ? I wouldn't say I'd say I disagree with both of those, because like the reason that like the love of Christ wasn't the reason that I left my church. Like nobody was mean to me in my church, so or being hypocritical. There were some hypocrites, but that's, you can believe in God while also believing that the people who follow him aren't necessarily always the best people, right? But beside that point, I mean, I've learned doing this content and also for the 10 years that Christians would be content to send you on a humongous, wild, lifelong goose chase until they find your belief satisfactory. And so I've learned pretty quickly that I know I've done enough research. I know I've done plenty upon plenty upon plenty to substantiate what I believe in. And so I disagree with the idea that I haven't learned enough to come to whether or not a book that so obviously appears to be false is actually true. Do you have a favorite and or least favorite denomination of Christianity? No and no. I think all of them have their own issues and all of them have their own upsides too. Big yikes on a Dillahunty take. Oh, he's funny. He's funny. Has your mental health gotten better or worse as you changed your beliefs? At first worse, and since they've gotten better for sure. Have you ever felt the Holy Spirit? I have felt euphoria and happiness, and I called that the Holy Spirit when I was in church for sure. What created the universe since it had a beginning, so it was created? All right, I'm gonna prove that wrong really quickly. No, I'm not. Cause last time I did this Streamlabs crashed, but go to the Big Bang article on Wikipedia. Go to the 148th reference, and it'll show clear as day that the universe isn't claimed to have had a cause necessarily. Like things like space and time and energy, there's no claim about these things going from not existing to existing in physics. So if there's no reason for me to think that the universe definitely had a cause, then there's no reason for me to insert any sort of thing into that role of being the cause. Do you have already read that? Physical laws of nature exist because the universe we live in just so happen to have the right parameters to support life to hypothesize such laws. Yeah, it's like if the universe was different, then if it was like a multiverse deal, and the universe was different in a way that we couldn't exist, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. So, did you gradually convert to atheist, or did you one day realize things then decide to just become an atheist? Depends on how gradual you think a year and a half is. Because a lot of people say that's not even close to enough time. Some say that's pretty gradual. I say that's pretty gradual. So depends on how long you would call how you'd accept a year and a half. What's your belief in where life came from? I think that life formed via abiogenesis. I really need some more water, dude. Goddamn. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Taxonomically speaking, the egg came first. Oh, goodness. We don't know that it had a beginning exactly. Oh, goodness. Why am I so thirsty tonight? You used to worship Satan, now you worship Jesus, so even you as an atheist could become Christian again. I'm not you, so glad you found what works for you, but I'm not you, so please don't do that. I was raised Catholic and we are all atheists now. None of us could deny science anymore. Science has questions that can't be answered, sure, but religion has answers that can't be questioned. Yeah, exactly. It's part of like my former bio on all my socials used to be the truth doesn't mind being questioned. And that's half of a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche that goes like, the truth doesn't mind being questioned and a lie doesn't like being challenged. And so, yeah, I feel like once we get to the point of accepting that we could be wrong about something, that will be a lot healthier of a position than you're right and it can't possibly be wrong. Christ is Lord, good for you. Would you be open to visiting an Orthodox church? For the memes, sure, but to convert over, fuck no. So no life equals life. I mean, yeah, you believe that God came from no life, right? What about the harmony and order you find in the universe? There has to be a designer that was so detailed and meticulous when creating everything in such beauty and light. I'm not saying the beauty behind natural disasters that kill millions of people, or have killed millions of people, and continue to kill so many people. I'm not seeing the beauty behind the planet as it used to exist that was completely not hostile to life. I'm not seeing the beauty behind a planet that literally rains glass because silicone particles condense in the atmosphere and get, superheated and then rain down as glass. I'm not seeing the beauty in a sun that gives off UV radiation that's carcinogenic. I'm not seeing the beauty in most of our planet's water being undrinkable, and I'm not seeing the beauty of a planet where people have the physical ability to rape kids. I'm not seeing the beauty in any of these. Mary, I see you, dude. Don't spam. What's up, man? What do you want? What's up, man? How you doing? How's your day going? God gave you osteoporosis? Yeah, fuck that guy. No, I was kidding, but oh man. Do you still have Christian friends, and how did they respond to you switching? I don't have any Christian friends left over from when I was a Christian. The Christian friends I have now I've met since deconstructing, and I think they know. Like a few of them know, and they don't care. Life equals chemistry, so yeah, chemistry equals more chemistry. Yeah, there's no like objective or scientific difference between biology and chemistry when you really break it down far enough. All this to keep you scared of death and attached to material things, even your body's temporary. Yeah, it's just over for you one day, eventually, right? God didn't just come about, you know what eternal means, right? Oh, so you agree that something alive can exist without needing to be created by something else alive? Oh, okay, I'm glad we agree on that. View on deism. I feel like ontologically speaking, it's probably going to be your better bet if you had to believe that a God existed, sure. I just don't see a reason to take it that far, but I mean they're harmless, right? I do believe in good and evil. I don't believe there's like any sort of objective force of good and evil. Like they're not like things like forces of our reality. I think they're just words that we use to describe like favorable and unfavorable things. Jenny Maria, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Welcome, Impo. Let's see what we got here. Everything had to come from something. Who's to say the universe had to come from something? Who do you pray to? Nobody. There's one appointment we all must face, the death appointment. I agree that we're all going to die, but I wouldn't call that an appointment. How would you explain the concept of consciousness? I think that consciousness is just an emergent property of a working brain. How do you think the whole God and Jesus stuff started? I think it was politics, like just like climate change. Yeah, I think it was like the Jesus stuff, at least the claims made about the person, whether or not you think he existed or not. Yeah, politics, ultimately, the Romans and the Jews weren't having a great time during that time in history, so quell the rebellion, give them their Messiah. Odds are they, move their kingdom from one of earth to one of heaven. Odds are, they're not going to rebel so hard. So, yeah. What do you think about Kabbalah and Sephir Yetzirah saying that in the beginning was the Word and the Word was God and with him on the lines with the Gospels of John? Bible references Bible, right? Like, did the writers of John have the Old Testament at their disposal? Yes, they did. So it's not miraculous to me in the slightest. Fermi paradox thoughts were the aliens. I don't think we're ever getting to the aliens personally. If good and evil is subjective, then the acceptance of rape in another country will also fall under that. I think the fact that there exists rapists would show that these things are subjective, right? Do I think it's permissible? Obviously, I don't, right? And I'm glad that most people agree with me on this, but the fact that there are people who are agents who are mentally ill and didn't get the empathy baked into them that most people got into them would show that there is a level of subjectivity to it. Permissibility, no, but obviously if somebody's brain is broken, then their brain is going to allow them to think broken ideas. Did you have an existential crisis? I did. Yeah, it sucked. It was not good. It was not good. God could have put magic, dragons, and giant lasers shooting robots into the world, but no, we get the IRS. Yeah, the IRS, the DMV, and Comcast, apparently. It's what we got. Cabal is a black cube worship, aka Saturn worship. I think you're thinking of is it this the Kaaba, or is that short? What is short for? I don't know. But the thing in Mecca that all the Muslims go to on their Hajj. I don't know. You the man? No, you the man, ampersand. All you. Oh, ampersand. Nice name. I just got it, but yeah. What influenced you to leave your faith? Looking at the evidence for my faith being true and finding none of it convincing is what caused me to leave. If there was some truth to it, if there was some scrutiny that it could have been held to, I would have gladly stayed in it, but I just didn't see a reason to. While y'all are doing that, I might as well self-promo too. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow the other socials. Everything's in the description of this video. You know, follow the things, join the things. Love to see you around, you know. So yeah. What do you think some people are drawn to religion while others aren't?
Can you see my messages? My stuff isn't loading. Crying face emoji.
Thank you for the $2 super chat, Draco Lunk. Let me scroll up and check really quickly. No, I don't see your messages. I think that you are getting filtered by YouTube for some reason. Unless you're talking about USDT or Tether or what else do I have filtered? There's like a couple other words that, you know, but yeah, unless you're talking about anything like that, then you should be coming through, but it seems like YouTube doesn't want you sending whatever it is you're saying. So, but thank you so much for the $2 super chat nonetheless. Shit, what was I just answering? Oh, why do I think some people are drawn to religion while others aren't? I don't know. There's a lot of different things that draw people to religion. Like, I think we all as humans don't tend to we all tend to have an issue with ignorance. And so things that can't possibly be answered empirically, some people might be drawn to religions that answer these questions. There's also the fact that some people want justice and want to make sure that the people that do them wrong are dealt with. And so they are drawn to religions where they offer up something bad happening to these people. So, I mean, yeah, there's multiple different reasons, I think. It's a very shallow reason to give up the fight against sin and your passions. Firstly, I'm not your fucking brother, right? But secondly, you know, because, you know, we can't just say like, oh, I find your unbelief unsatisfactory, right? But yeah, it's valid for me. You know, I looked into research. I did my own research, looked at the evidence. If the evidence is leading me to believe that the thing I currently believe is untrue, then I'm going to do the honest thing 8 days out of 7 and make sure to leave the thing and not dedicate any more of my time to it. Do you accept that your loved ones will become nothing, nor will they return to dust? Yeah, I accept that for sure. I've been an atheist for 10 years, and since then, I've lost a cat, a couple cousins, my grandmother, my father, multiple friends. And, you know, I go every day knowing that these are people I'm just never going to see again. And that's pretty sad, too. But, you know, do I have any reason to believe that it's any other way just because I wouldn't prefer for it to be the way I think it is? No. Was the age of the earth one of the causes as to why you didn't believe anymore? No. No, because I accepted science as true back when I was a Christian, too. What are the morals you keep while being an atheist? I try to let empathy guide my morality to the best of my ability. What do I want happening to me versus what would I prefer to not happen to me, you know? So you don't believe in anything at all or just a Christian story of creationism? I don't believe in anything supernatural, divine, magical, paranormal, anything like that. Have you ever heard of the holy fire from the sepulcher in Jerusalem that does not burn? What? Huh? That a fire that doesn't burn? Or what are we doing? One day in the far, far future, we won't be able to see any stars in the sky at all. Yeah, true. In about 4 billion years, there's going to be a really big climate change when our sun blows up. So you're not planning on reincarnating? Don't be sad. Everything will work out. Heaven and hell are made up concepts. Yeah, I don't believe in reincarnation either. I think there's no soul. I don't think we go anywhere. You obviously don't believe in an afterlife. What if you die and there is a heaven and there is a hell? I don't know. It just depends on what the person who chooses where I go to, what they think about my life. If they're offended so much about me not believing that they existed or quote unquote having faith in them that they think hell is a good punishment, then I mean that sucks. But my morals tell me that somebody who thinks that punishing somebody solely because they didn't believe that you existed is a petty narcissistic thing to do. And so, unfortunately, I would just have lived in a reality made by a petty narcissist. And so, it wouldn't be my fault at that point. If you looked at me living an otherwise okay life and judges me off of that, or judges me off the things I've actually done bad, then I mean, that'll be fair enough, right? Christopher, thank you for the follow. Appreciate subscribing on YouTube. Appreciate it. What's your perspective on our creation, the universe, and all in it? For the universe itself, I think the manifold itself has always existed, and that the universe it's in an eternal cycle of expansion and contraction. That's my hypothesis, but you know, the matter and stuff in it has always existed. If I had to take a guess, the planet, sun, humans, things like protoplanetary formation, stellar formation, and abiogenesis and evolution are going to explain that decent enough. On behalf of Draco, do you know anything about the Quran? My friend recommended I read it, but I know why that's getting filtered. Do I know anything about the Quran? I've read the Quran once. Would not recommend. I'm sorry, would not recommend the Quran to anybody. That is a wild ride of a book. It is full of, if you thinking like I'm critical of the Bible, just know that I'd love to be a lot more critical of the Quran if at all possible. That is a wild ride of a book. Super wild, right? Yeah, I would not recommend, especially if you're critical of the Bible's morality or truth claims. You have no clue what it even is. It's the holy text of Islam, basically. Had to realize it was never about me from the beginning. I didn't get to choose who I wanted to be when I entered this world. This is not our battle. I'm not seeing what you want me to do with that personally. Correct take on the Quran. Yeah, it's a wild one, man. I've read it front to back. I say cover to cover. I read it electronically, but because I don't have a physical one. But yeah, it is something. How many religious books have you read? I'm at 2 currently. I've read the Bible twice and I've read the Quran once. I'm going to read the Book of Mormon next. After that, maybe the Bhagavad Gita. And I got to fit the Satanic Bible somewhere in there, even though that's not technically, I mean, in the Bible I had also came with Old Testament, which is the Hebrew Bible or the Torah. So, I mean, if you want to count that, that counts. So, I don't know. Yeah. Do I believe that I'm special? Objectively, no. May I ask how it happened that you became an atheist? How did you find God before? I became an atheist because I didn't see any evidence for God being real. That's why I left religion. How did I find God before? Indoctrination, to be honest with you. It's just the truth that I was told by the people I trusted, you know. What's my stance on homosexuality? I don't have a stance on homosexuality. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. I think it's just something that people do, you know. It's just it's a completely neutral thing is what I'm getting at, right? Like if somebody is attracted to somebody of the same sex, why should I give a shit in any regard, you know? Read some Rudolf Steiner. If somebody's first name ends with Dolph and their last name ends with ER, I'm probably not going to read them, honestly. You involve yourself in politics. I try to stay away from it a little bit, but the more I learn, the more bleak I get. That's why, you know, I don't avoid it altogether in my content or on my Twitter or things like that. But yeah, it's bleak. It's bleak. I think it's pretty gay to be gay. Yeah, I think being gay is pretty gay. Yeah. I think what's gayer than being gay is being somebody who claims that they're straight but who cares about people who are gay. Right? It's like, which one of these is gayer? taking a dick up the ass or thinking about other men taking dicks up the ass to even have an opinion about them one way or the other. Ask me, I'm going to say number 2 every single day of the week. You know, it's like, which one of these is, because like, you got to think about this, right? It's like, if you're attracted to it, if that's what you're into, like, no shit, that's going to be what you like, right? But if you have to think about it enough to be like, oh man, I hate that, I'm going to talk so much about these people, I'm going to talk so much shit about these people, I'm going to think you're even more gay. And to that I say, we accept you, you know. But it's like, come on, I think thinking about that is pretty gay. Well, there you go, right? Building your faith over other people is dangerous. It's like building a tall house on sand. I mean, isn't everybody indoctrinated though? I mean, who in here can tell me? It's probably whatever your religious convictions are. I'd bet good money that over half of you in here who have religious convictions didn't get them from yourself or basically you didn't get them from people who weren't your parents, right? How come you talk about this topic? What's your mission? So I host these streams and make these videos to offer a look into an atheist and ex-Christian perspective, to encourage critical thinking, to learn new things, to provide an opportunity to engage fairly and honestly with someone with a different worldview, and have a little bit of fun along the way. That's why I do this content. Christianity is not indoctrination, but it's the person or relation. Okay, I'm not reading the rest of that. Yeah, most religions are a matter of indoctrination. They're going to be something that is a result of your culture and something that your parents teach you, and that's just the way it is, objectively speaking. If that weren't the case, then these different religious beliefs wouldn't be so almost predictably concentrated to the parts of the world that they are. Like I'd imagine there's some Hindus in the chat right now. I can promise you I could take a guess which country the Hindus in the chat for the most part are from now. Conversely, I'd imagine there's a few Muslims in here. I could take a wild guess where either them or their family comes from. Same with Christianity. If you're a Christian in here, odds are I could probably guess which one of like 3 countries you come from, more or less. So the fact that demographics and has such a play in it means that it's definitely a result of indoctrination. Let me get you on out of here. Hide user on this channel. Skadoosh. Come back another day. No, we're not going to try to get my channel reported for no reason whatsoever. You can go put rocks in your pocket and jump into Lake Erie for all I care. Is it gayer to sleep with a femboy or to sleep with a tomboy? Oh man. I don't even want to answer that one. I don't even want to answer it. No, I'm not going to answer that one. All I know is I'll probably just get one of each and just do a whole threesome out of it and just like make like a yin yang sort of deal, you know? just yin yang, perfect balance. Me in the middle, fuck it. Just get me on out. Every religion says Jesus is a way and Jesus says he's the only way. So no, not every religion says Jesus is the way. That is objectively false. I don't know if you're just choosing to lie to me or maybe you're just spreading something that happens to be false, but before we try to reduce other religious claims and ideas to try to meet your own, maybe we should think about it first, you know? Is a point of view important to someone that will become nothing? I think while you exist, sure. Yeah, why not, right? You can't have an option on opinion, I'm guessing, on same-sex relations if you're straight. I think it's wrong to do hard drugs. That doesn't mean I secretly want to do hard drugs. What I'm saying is that I probably was being a little tongue-in-cheek there. Probably past the point of you being able to tell such. But what I'm getting at is that if it's not harming anybody, if it's 2 consensual adult human beings doing consensual adult human things with each other, it shouldn't be something that anybody thinks about or have an opinion of, right? It's like, if it doesn't affect you whatsoever, if the dynamic is healthy, they're both willful participants in the dynamic. Obviously they're both in the same relative age group, and obviously if they're both human beings, I don't see why anybody would give a shit. Opinion on Muhammad splitting the moon in half. Power scale. Power scale. No, obviously my opinion is that it's gonna be that's a bunch of bullshit, but I mean, yeah, I talk very often about how I want to see Moses and Jesus and Muhammad in a triple threat WWE style match, and with Muhammad being able to split the moon, I mean that might put him as the guy to beat, right? At the end of the day, if religion is right, ineptitude is forgivable, so you theoretically should be good either way. Yeah, fair enough, right? What if I believe I'm God? Why do religious fanatics become furious when you want to take your power back from religious doctrines and social constructs? I don't know, man. I don't know, just it's what they were taught, man. They were taught to indoctrinate. They were taught to proselytize. They were taught to convert and win souls. So I guess that's what's driving it. Why does it have to be a human being? Why can't it be a dog or something? Dogs cannot express consent. I don't know who needs to hear that, but I would really hope that we're not past the point of trying to argue for bestiality. We do a video about different interpretations of the Bible in the future, yeah, if the channel blows up. But for me to do that, I would have to brush up on a lot, research a lot to begin with. Because to be honest, there's quite a few denominations out there that I couldn't tell you the difference or what they believe. So, but yeah, that's coming in the future. I might do like a mini essay on it or a video essay. How do you remain an atheist without giving in to nihilism? I would say by accepting that you are the agent. And like once you become the pilot of your own life in all regards, then there shouldn't, I don't think, like for me personally, I'll just answer for myself. The reason I'm existentialist versus a nihilist is because if there's no objective reason to believe that there has to be some meaning or purpose that I ascribe from someone else or something else, then all I'm left with is myself and the way I have to live my life and want to live my life. And so it's just like a reduction, basically. Sub, do you love atheist content? Welcome, man. Thank you for subscribing, Pikachu girl. Good to see you. They're programmed to be annoyingly judgmental, unfortunately. How do you feel after you changed philosophical paths? What's the main idea you've replaced that makes life worth living now? God or no God, I feel like I couldn't live with neither of the results. How do I feel now after I changed philosophical paths? Overall, I feel like I've kind of landed on my feet, more or less. When I first deconstructed, it was pretty rough, but since then I've landed on my feet with building up my reality that doesn't necessarily require a God, you know? The main idea I've replaced that makes life worth living now, I don't know, just existentialism, the fact that the idea that despite there being no meaning or purpose to life outside of myself, that it doesn't deprive me as an agent of being able to ascribe purpose to my own personal life. And if that answers your question. Nihilism usually morphs into absurdism and or existentialism. Yeah, you're 100% correct. For me, I went more the way of existentialism. People just don't come back to life. It's never happened once. Yeah, yet to see it even once. Your vision of man is very poor when he's made for so much more. You can think that, but until you can substantiate the idea that we are quote unquote made for more, then why do you expect me to accept that? What's some of the most vile things in the Muhammad book that you've read? This isn't in the Quran necessarily, but it's in the Al-Bukhari's hadith. Muhammad was 51 years old when he promised marriage to his wife Aisha. And when he was 51, she was 6 years old. And they actually got married and consummated 3 years later when he was 54 and she was 9 years old. So yeah, he was a disgusting pedophile. Yeah, that's probably the biggest instant defeater for it is to why I could like to be a Muslim is to believe that he's the, you know, these are the model Muslim, he's the one that you should model your life around. I just can't get behind that. Carl Corlins, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Should children know about homosexuality? Yes or no? I feel like if we're going to teach kids about like having crushes, teach them what to expect and why they feel certain ways toward people, like why they feel attraction, then obviously like we should let them be known that there is nothing necessarily wrong if the person that they feel attraction to so happens to be of the same sex. So it's like whenever you feel like that's a good conversation to have, I feel like you kind of have to bring up homosexuality in that as well, you know. He said nobody comes back to life. Well, not, it's not, it's called, what? Not, it's not, what? The resurrection was a miracle because it normally doesn't happen. Miracles are like a life preserver in the ocean. They are meant to stand out from the norm. Yeah, and until there's evidence of the life preserver even being there to begin with, I'm not seeing the orange. If God is good, if God is gone, there will be nothing. God created everything except buildings or handmade. I don't think God made anything. I think that God is fictional and not real. What's up, Ben Rodriguez? How you doing today? Surgeons save a life and the family goes, thank, like, bro, thank the doctor. Yeah. Thank the guy that spent, you know, over 10 years in school learning how to do the thing that saved somebody's life. Was never given the talk or any sex ed. Yay, purity culture. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, man. You know, it's how you end up with a lot of accidents. And the real big issue with purity culture is that it doesn't allow people to, or kids, it doesn't allow kids to better understand what abuse looks like and how to identify it and then how to come forward with it. And I think that's pretty awful. Would I believe in God again if he showed you evidence you can't explain another way? Yeah, I'd believe that God exists if there was evidence that couldn't be explained any other way. As in the Sohar stating, we are to continue creating creation. We are the creators, eyes and hands of our thoughts are literally creating matter. I am, therefore I think. Well, that's a sentence for sure. Can you tell me the difference between believing in God and not believing in God? That's both our beliefs. How can you be certain there is no God? Are both beliefs, I think they're both stances, but to call them beliefs, I feel like is an unintentional use of the word belief. What's the difference between them? One, I don't know how to, like, what do you mean? Like, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Like, one believes that a God exists and the other doesn't believe that a God exists. Didn't Soldier for Jesus Christ say he was leaving, but he's still here? I don't know, trying to farm attention, like last minute attention or something. I don't know. There was a question I missed. I didn't catch it. That's whatever. Do you believe there's existence outside of the physical world, like something spiritual, metaphysical, or like a realm of thoughts of some kind, or that this physical world is all there is? I lean more toward the physical world being all there is for sure. I like with the term metaphysical, I don't really ascribe to it because I feel like it offers some sort of non outside of your mind tangibility to your thoughts and concepts, and I just don't agree with that. I'm not an idealist in any sort of way, so I just call these things conceptual. Yeah, soldier for, yeah, you can go. Yeah, matter of fact, since you don't know how to get out, you can just go. I'll help you out here. Maybe you can't find your way out, but so maybe if I just like starve you of attention, you can get out. Skadoosh. Have a good rest of your night. See you in the next one. You will be back. As a former Christian, what's your stance on physical attractiveness? When you were a Christian, did you oppose or advocate for appearing physically attractive? Insofar as I wanted to make sure that to communicate to the world that I take care of myself, but like overly, like, let me get the fresh haircut, the gold chain, and all this, that, and the third. That wasn't really my goal in particular. I tried to be modest about it, but I was the type to just like, okay, make sure your clothes are clean and your breath doesn't stink. Your hair is combed or shaved down, and you know, all the things, and you smell decent. Do you think there are higher dimensions, like time theoretically being a fourth dimension? Do I think there are higher spatial dimensions? I think possibly, for sure. I mean, past what we can maybe substantiate with time being a fourth dimension. I mean, outside of that, I feel like it's an inherently unknowable. So I don't really like. I'm agnostic to it, and I don't really try to ascribe a belief to it. Man. How did your morality evolve? Oh, man. I started being more empathetic toward people. I feel like when I was a Christian, I wasn't putting people first because in my eyes, I was just like, okay, I'm out here to convert. I'm out here to save souls and win souls for God so we can all be in eternal paradise together. And so when you kind of get rid of that, you're kind of stuck with, oh, it's just me and other people. And so the desire to see the best for everyone didn't leave. And so I'm left with being more empathetic, more kind in general. I'm not a saint, obviously. I fuck up a lot, but in general, trying harder with people. That's how one of the ways my morality evolved. Anything to do with physical attraction was pretty demonized growing up, or just called vain. Not in my like Baptist circles, or at least like not in the churches I grew up in personally. But I've heard similar things where, especially among like the I want to say was it Methodist or like Pentecostal? I think it was Pentecostals, where they tell you to be modest in your dress, especially women. Man, the Christians fucking hate women, dude. How the fuck is that happening? As an aside, dude, I don't see how any woman who reads something like Deuteronomy 22, 28, and 29, or any of the Old Testament really, or like 1 Timothy 2 would ever decide, okay, this is the religion for me, you know? What was the religion before atheism? I was a Christian. I was a Christian before I became an atheist. Oh, okay, you're trying to harass me now. All right, well, we're going to get these hitting on the channel. And by all means, let me know when you come in with a new account. Let me know what it is, so I can just keep doing this all night. I can imagine that you don't have, it'll take you a lot longer to create accounts than it would for me to just click the name and say hi user on this channel, but have a good rest of your life. Baptist, yeah, I was a Baptist. It's a beautiful book created by a madman creep who could not have created it himself. He might have had help from Raka, not what the hell, the priest, but it's inspired and not divinely. We're talking about the Bible? That's the first time I've heard somebody say that the Bible is not divinely inspired. Anyway. I know why I left church. Way too much church and seeing behind the scenes arrogant. Yeah. And that'll do it for a lot of people for sure. Internalized misogyny is a big problem in Christianity. It really is. It really is, dude. When you read about how they thought of women as second-class citizens and just people to be like bought off of their fathers, basically, and in the old ways, in the old times, and that being endorsed all throughout the Hebrew Bible, and seeing Paul and all these figures like not admonish, but ascribe to these misogynistic ideas. Like I'm not seeing how anybody could be a part of that. But I mean, it's not for me, right? I think he's talking about the Quran, probably. What do you think about saints like Teresa of Avila, Joan of Arc, and Maria Goretti? I'll be honest, I don't have an opinion on them one way or the other. I love the actual intellectual argument that goes in anything. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here. If that's a compliment, I'm glad this stream is sufficient for you. Pee-pee poo-poo time? Is it pee-pee poo-poo time? How far in the stream are we? If we're at least 2.5 hours in, we're almost right there for pee-pee poo-poo time. All right, really quickly. Atheism is the default modality of humanity. Yeah. Beliefs in any sort of God, especially nowadays, is going to come long after you get indoctrinated by people. So, but yeah, everybody's born without any sort of knowledge of a God, obviously without knowledge of particular religious claims, but without necessarily believing that there's an invisible force that created everything. You witnessed your sister get baptized as a kid. It freaked me out. I got baptized too. I remember the exact date I got baptized. I got baptized on October 2nd, 2011. It was quite the day. Yeah, it can be a creepy process, you know, just seeing somebody get dunked underwater, a prayer being said, somebody get dunked underwater, just held under there, you know, and brought back up. It's like, I don't know, at that point, just put me in a bathtub. Hope you find Jesus again. Okay. Could the Bible just be a cover-up for Mary's affair? Entirely possible, right? Kind of funny how Jesus ended up looking like the milkman, huh? What do you think happens if you die then? I think that your consciousness just dies out entirely. Like, you just cease to exist, basically. It's just kind of it for you. Just GG, just no just all that is for you. Absolutely a compliment. Well, I'm glad the stream is sufficiently conversational for you. Thank you for the compliment, Amber. Thoughts on Enoch living 777 years of some BS? I haven't read the book of Enoch. I don't know if that's where that's from, and I haven't read the like. I don't remember the story of Enoch, but yeah, they claim that people lived like really outlandish lengths of time back then. It's kind of funny how that works. Like even Noah was hundreds of years old when the whole ark stuff happened. Like an old decrepit man is making a big ass boat for a bunch of animals. It's like I don't know, man. Since you mentioned Pentecostalism, even as a current Christian, I don't like their theology. Very heterodox, maybe even heretical, especially when they condemn you for not having spiritual gifts. Yeah, it's a wild ride of a denomination. I had a couple Pentecostal friends growing up, and I don't know. I wouldn't say they were like, how do I best explain it? You know, when somebody's just off. Like people are just off. You know it. People are just like they act a little off. That's how my Pentecostal friends used to act for sure. Do you believe in reincarnation? I don't believe in reincarnation personally. I don't believe in any sort of essence or soul or anything like that that gets recycled in any sort of way. That's why they need to gaslight you by saying that it's written on your heart, and if you think otherwise, you're lying to yourself. Yeah, I've gotten that literally every single day in some regard. See here, have you ever watched Star Trek? I'm not huge on Star Trek. I used to be bored as hell by it back when I watched it. Do you ever have religious dreams, like dreams of going to heaven or hell? No, no. It's not. I don't know if I ever have, honestly. Orthodoxy is the only way. Just orthodox simping. Okay, that's something. Try crazy born again Christians. I know a little bit too much about them because I used to be one of them. I stopped at Numbers because the story got boring. It got a little. It lit up a little bit after Numbers. Yeah, it was a. It was. I'll be honest with you. If the Bible is written as like this book is fiction, but it's just like an epic novel, a great tragedy where everybody strives toward the ultimate villain of the story, that would be pretty cool. I would have loved the Bible in that regard, but obviously I feel sour at it knowing that it's being a thing that's responsible for so many regressive ways of thinking nowadays. You can see the wrecked and fossilized ark on Mount Ararat. No, you cannot, dude. That is what like there's quite a few people that have claimed that hoax, and especially in multiple different parts of the Middle East. It's absolutely baloney, garbanzo beans. Yeah, no, it's just no. Part of it is just rock formations. Sometimes it's just different pieces of petrified wood that have nothing to do with the ark, found in not unexplainable, but unexpected regions. Yeah, it's no garbanzo beans and bologna. That sounds kind of like a gross combination. I like both of those things, but I don't know if I would like them together. You think the Bible is more of a day of historical count more than a religious text? Then maybe historical fiction. I'll grant just about. I'll go just about that far with it. See here. Man who was asking about your religion told him about Judaism, how my people have been searching for the Messiah, but we missed him. He was the one pierced for our transgressions. Are you Orthodox or are you Jewish? Are you Orthodox Jew though? I might have thought you were like Orthodox Christian. Being an atheist has been interesting. Too bad my mental health is declining. I'm so sorry, dude. I would try recovering from religion.org. I'd recommend that to anybody. That was huge for me when I was first deconstructing. And also if you can afford it and if you can have access to it, therapy is great. Parents converted when I was a teen, and boarding in Christians teach ditch your kid if they don't convert. I was one kicked out for not wanting to be born again. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky that I converted around the time that I started, moving out of my parents' house. Because I feel like that would have been the same for me if I wasn't actively in the process of going off to college. You can't see air, but you believe in that, right? You can see the air if it's cold enough, but you can't see air with the naked eye. The air isn't claimed to be some sort of all present, all powerful force that created literally everything. It's just a collection of gas molecules that at regular atmospheric temperatures are gaseous and can't be witnessed by the naked eye. So these things are not analogous. And even if they were analogous, the acceptance of one thing that's invisible doesn't mean I have to accept all invisible things. So please stop it. 3:33 in AM and EST. It's the devil's hour. Yeah, it was it's 3:35 now, but yeah, it's yeah, I should probably get to sleep here soon. Even though I just woke up not that long ago. Did my computer freeze or is it okay? Yeah, my computer, not my computer, my tab froze. Oh goodness. Okay, I'll just have to use Streamlabs to see what you guys are saying. Let's see here. Is Christianity as bad as something like Scientology? I can't speak too much on Scientology. Everything I've heard about them have been pretty negative, though, so I couldn't personally speak on it because, as bad as it appears to be outwardly, and as bad as it apparently is, I couldn't speak on the level of how bad it is until I, actually read their book, right? The Bible says people like you astray the path and blaspheme the Lord and other truth. That's a Barnum statement, right? If I were just to, imagine if I were to say, Schlippaldism is true. Schlippaldism is the worship of the trophy on my desk. People will not accept Schlippaldism, which proves that Schlippaldism is true. Does that prove it true? No, it's a Barnum statement. It's an information hazard, basically. It's not sound logic. Like, people won't believe in the thing isn't going to prove the thing true in and of itself. That's no offense, but that's pretty dumb. Builder is proof of, I'm guessing building is proof of a builder, painting's proof of a painter. I really wish we could stop trying to borrow our arguments from Cliff Nechtel and calling it a good argument. Even beside the day, creation on the earth is proof of a creator. So what you're employing is called the false equivalence fallacy and also the composition fallacy. False equivalence because we know that buildings and paintings are created because we can observe a nature where buildings and paintings are not something that naturally occur without human intervention, showing that they, we can infer that human is the reason that these things were created. But we don't know about the universe. We don't know whether or not the universe even began to exist, period. So these things aren't analogous. So, as much as you like your Cliff Nechtel arguments, it's not a good argument. And it's also composition fallacy because you're saying that, sorry, something in my nose. You're saying that something within the universe existing, like having a property, has to apply, that property then has to apply to the entire universe. It would be like saying that, what's a good example that, I don't know. I'll just go with my regular example that an entire car is made out of rubber just because the tire is made out of rubber. So no, it's a false equivalence. And just arbitrarily calling the universe and reality creation instead of existence is unfounded at that point. Just as easily as I can say nature proves naturalism without a creator. It'd just be jumping the gun for no reason. Who argue from Cliff Notes? Not Cliff Notes, Cliff Nechtel. He's an apologist and a pastor that people keep borrowing arguments from. Like, I've never seen life come from non-life. Building has a building, painting has a painter. And they just keep recycling the sound bites. I've been listening to them do it for years. Yeah, there is a stream delay, but to be fair, their comment was pretty far back. Why'd you stop being a Christian? So, Mod Gamer Boy, I stopped being a Christian because I looked at the evidence of Christianity being true and found none of it convincing. My parents rejected my sister's son for being gay. Tried to tell that kid they won't bend was so hard. Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. I'm so sorry. Or are they in a better place now where you didn't get that from Cliff, though? You got it from somebody, because the fact that you guys keep using the exact same argument, the exact same words over and over shows that you're just borrowing from each other. And to be fair, I do that too, but like at the very least, like you have to think about why what you're borrowing is true rather than just like copy pasting from other people that sound good, right? Is God to say this? Death of innocent children from hunger. Yeah, I think say this as the perfect word to use there for sure. The Bible does indeed contradict itself in some places. Okay, I'm going to repeat myself one more time, and I implore you to listen up. I left Christianity because I didn't see any evidence that it was true. Then you never its faith. What is that? Then you never its faith? Okay, I'm imagining you're about to write your invalidating, dismissive bullshit the right way this time, so by all means, go for it. You believe in yourself and what I can see. Yeah, I believe in the very least that what can be logically substantiated, right? Like, even if I can't see it. But yeah, I think believing in yourself is probably the best way to go. I gotta stretch real quick. I'll wait after, because I'm about to stretch all together and lay down. I really should take my ice cream out the freezer, because my freezer gets really, really cold, and it's like, you can't really like dig into your ice cream. Should I have ice cream as a late night snack? You know, fuck it. I get one life. I'm gonna enjoy some fucking ice cream. Yeah, actually. Yeah. What am I asking y'all for? Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy some ice cream. I'll get a scoop of ice cream. Sure, I've earned it. Why not? I promise almost 75% of the Christians here haven't read the Bible. I think 75 is a conservative number. That's my religion because of your studies and hypnosis. No one truly has free will, so how can we be judged by a God? That's a unique one. I gotta look more into that. But yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, that would be completely unjust if that were the case. There's evidence that Jesus existed. My faith isn't based on whether or not a figure within a religion existed. It's about whether or not the supernatural claims of that figure are true or not. Like, for instance, I'm not a mythicist when it comes to Muhammad, right? I know that Muhammad existed, or at least there's overwhelming evidence showing that he did exist. But I have no reason whatsoever to think that Muhammad received the Quran from the angel Gabriel after it was transcribed by Allah, right? Is no reason to think that. I have no reason to think that he split the moon or that he flew on a winged horse or anything like that. But we know he was a real person. Conversely, can I grant that Jesus existed as a person? Sure, why not? This is why the fuck not? Was he crucified? Sure. Was he the Son of God? Walked on water, rose the dead, healed the blind, healed the sick, multiplied fish and bread, born of a virgin, rose from the dead? No, there's no good reason to believe in any of that. You deserve some Blue Moo. I got a chocolate chip cookie though. I haven't had Blue Moon in years though. That's a Michigan classic right there. Hell yeah. Imagine if a blind person said colors don't exist. I mean, you could probably logically substantiate colors to a blind person though. So bad argument. Perform miracles, self-sacrifice for our sins. I mean, these are the claims. They're not the warrant. Throw the ice cream in the microwave for like 20-30 seconds, softens up easy. I've tried that before, and so I get like the I don't know what it's like. It's obviously smaller than a gallon. The regular size tubs, man, not the pint, but like the family size. They last me for a couple weeks. I tried that and it just like melts the edges, but it doesn't really get at the center too well, and so it's just like soupy on the outside, still frozen in the middle. If I were to put it in for more time, obviously it melts too much, so I just let it sit out for like 10 minutes afterward. Before. Go grab that ice cream with flavor. It's a cookie dough. Cookie dough. I love chocolate mint. Chocolate chip, mint chocolate chip is probably my third favorite flavor. It goes salted caramel, then cookie dough, and then mint chocolate chip. If that's so, then why did you see the evidence that you say that there isn't any evidence that Christianity existed? Okay, since I don't know if you're being disingenuous and maybe you're just like a teenager and you're not tracking, but I'll try to get this right for you, right? Imagine if I said Superman exists. He actually is a superhero. He's just too fast for you to see him, but he's a real person that exists. The evidence that he exists is the fact that my inhaler went missing last week. Is this evidence that Superman's existed? No. It's claimed evidence for sure, but it doesn't lead to the conclusion that Superman existed. Conversely, Is there arguments to be made for Jesus coming back from the dead? Um, Philosophical arguments for God existing? Sure. Are they convincing? Are they verifiable? Do they track? No. Weird question. Do you have Discord? I do, but how old are you? Before I tell you how to find it, how old are you? You know, because I don't want minors in my server. I'm not interested in having any sort of discussion with minors whatsoever. If you eat out of the tub on the sides, it melts first, and you can slowly eat into the center base flavor. By the way, oh yeah, I prefer to do it like the bougie way and just scoop some out into a bowl, put it back in the freezer, and come back later. You know. Blessed are those who listen and do what I say, for thou shalt be great in the kingdom of heaven. Yeah, just don't think and obey. Yep, that never leads to anything bad happening whatsoever. The Bible says what can be made known about God to man is made known in nature. That's directly from Scripture in Romans. I know you don't believe the Bible. Besides that, what do you think about sleep paralysis? I don't know what causes sleep paralysis, so I won't comment on it personally. You're 16, turning 17 this year? Okay, then I don't want you on my server, with all due respect. I only want people whose age equals a value of 18 or a number greater than 18. If your age is 17 or a value lower than 17, then I just prefer you to not be in my server. But yeah, you're 20, add me to your Discord. Do exclamation Discord in the chat then. But yeah, if you're under the age of 18 and you join my Discord and I find out you're under the age of 18, you get banned and you don't come back, because it says clearly in the rules that you have to agree to before seeing all the channels in there that I don't want under 18s in there. What are your thoughts on math behind string theory checking out in 11 dimensions? I haven't looked into it, so I can't have any thoughts about it personally. I'm not the most versed in theoretical physics. I think fear causes sleep paralysis. I've had it before. Yeah, that'll do it. But yeah, I haven't looked into it too much. Everyone's sinned before. I mean, everyone's done bad things. I wouldn't know if I would call it sin though. Get some more water, dude. I am so fucking thirsty tonight. Am I dying? Am I diabetic? I'm probably closer to diabetic than dying, but both my granddads had it and one of my grandmothers had it. So odds are I'm going to get it sometime, but I haven't peed though, so it's probably not diabetes. Oh. This chat's funny to read. I admire your patience. I've been talking to people for 10 years about this, so you get used to it. You get used to seeing a lot of this stuff. I don't know if there's anything that can, like, it's probably a few things that can genuinely, like, upset me. So I just haven't gotten to it yet, I don't think. There's no such thing as Christianity, but I'm not reading the rest of that. This whole relationship, not religion, or whatever you want to describe it as, and not a religion. It's just, I don't know what to tell you on that one. Just joined the server. Let me talk in DMs after. Oh, okay, yeah. What's your name in there? Are you a Vibrant Sharp 13 in there? Oh, your PFP is Vibrant Sharp 13. Weird name. Oh, okay, thanks for telling me that. You are banned literally for life. I quite literally said I don't want people under the age of 18 in there. So, yeah, you will never come back. But, yeah, ban. Thanks for telling me that. But, yeah, I quite literally just said I don't want people under the age of 18 in there. So, if you want to disobey that, then I don't know what to tell you. No one is righteous in the eyes of God. It says, I will not answer your prayers, for your hands are filled with blood. Only Christ washes the sin and blood. Again, I don't know what you want me to do with that, man. You're like 35. 35 is fine. Just 17 and younger, no thanks. 18 or older, sure. Are you unmuted yet? Yeah, you're unmuted. I see you. 20 years old, born 2005. Yeah, if you're 18 or over, you don't have to tell me your age. Just, join in. You'll be welcome. But 17 or younger, with all due respect, just stay out until you turn 18. But yeah, I might as well self-promo my other shit really quickly too. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitch, TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, Kick Trovo. Clapper, Eliminate, Blue Sky Threads, Reddit. I don't really use Reddit like that, but Reddit and atheism go hand in hand, I guess. If you're over 18 only, join my Discord server or add me on Snapchat if you want to talk in private. If you want to support the stream, all that stuff's down there too. You're unmuted after 73,727 years. Did you get unmute? Like, did you get muted for 24 hours yesterday or what? Have you ever heard of Bashar? No, I haven't heard of Bashar. My triggers are being pre-shed and being told I'll go to hell. I mean, that's a good one. Those are good ones. I know that's for my sister too, because we both got it pretty rough when it came to the ways we were indoctrinated, and she hates that shit now. I'm a lot less sensitive to it, but yeah, that sucks, dude. I'm sorry. You only see the rules page? Try reading the rules and then clicking the buttons if you agree to the rules. One of the buttons if you agree to them. But I do it like that so everybody has to, who is in the server has to ultimately agree to them or disagree if they don't agree. But yeah. Concerning prophecy in the end of days, do you consider yourself among a lukewarm and backslider / mockers thus fulfilling prophecy? What are your thoughts? I feel like simply saying that people will stop believing in the religion isn't good enough proof of the religion. You know, it's like, it's a Barnum statement. It's not a prophecy. You could say that about literally any religion whatsoever. If I were to make up a religion right now and I said, my trophy is God, my trophy on my desk created the universe, people will not believe this to be true. And people read that and they don't believe it. Like, they don't believe my trophy is God. Does that prove that my trophy is God? No. Conversely, in the Bible in Romans, I think, and in 2 Thessalonians as well, saying that people will eventually not believe in this. They will fall away in this, that, and the third. Does that prove Christianity is true? Not necessarily. I hope you have a good night. I was passing through. Be well. You be well too. Thank you for being here, Salem Black. Have a good rest of your night. You will be back? Highly doubtful. What do you think about fasting? Did you ever do it? Yeah, I used to fast back when I was a Christian. For like deliverance and a bunch of other weird shit. Looking back, it's kind of cringe, but at the very least, I felt, I won't talk about it. If anybody here has an ED, I used to have an ED, so, you know, unless you have an ED, what I was about to say might sound really, really weird to you, but yeah, I won't talk too much about it, but yeah. You've been agnostic, can't say for sure if God is out there or not since I was 11. The final straw for me was when I was constantly praying for my grandpa to recover from cancer, but he still died. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, very sorry to hear about your grandfather. But yeah, that's valid for sure. Yeah, it shows clear as day that, you know, God didn't have a vested interest in actually helping out the people that prayed to him. So yeah, I'm glad to see you though. What do you think about the rapture? The rapture is post-biblical. It's not even in the Bible. It's described in like the modern day understanding of tribulation and shit. It's not even in there. It started in like the mid 1800s, I think. A pastor in like, I couldn't tell you where, but started the whole as like a fringe thing that spread around, and it just got adopted by later evangelicals. But if you're asking like, do I think it's going to happen or not? Absolutely not. Ever since you gave your life to Christ, actually done all these things, you got diagnosed with sleep paralysis and felt a hand, palm in that state before. Grabbed the name of Jesus and that thing fled. That's good for you, right? We're eternal whether we go to heaven or hell. I agree that the stuff that makes us up, like our body, is eternal. Like the carbon and oxygen and hydrogen and shit is eternal in some way. I just think it's going to get eaten by animals and digested, you know, like worms and shit, or just completely reduced to inert carbon and spread around somewhere. You got skadooshed. Mods are very zealous. I don't think I mean, you're here. I don't think did you get skadooshed? Oh, okay. Yeah, fuck it then. Skill issue at that point. GG, no re. At that point, I don't know what to tell you. You should try searching up Bashar and keep an open mind to it. I'm not looking for another religion or to be brought back into religion. If you am 1 Saturn year old, can you still DM me on Snapchat? As long as that it translates to more than 18 Earth years old, then yeah, you can by all means DM me on Snapchat if you are 1 Saturn year old. I don't know how long that is though. Wait, how long is 1 Saturn year? Let me look that up really quickly. How long is 1 year on Saturn? 29 years? Yeah, you can definitely DM me if you're 29 years old. Okay, back to this. Bring up this really quickly. Let's see. All right, you never repented with a repentant heart and heard my testimony what happened to me and still never believe me. There's nothing I can do, but I can say as I grew up a Catholic. My dude, I don't know what you want me to do with it though, man. Like, let's say, like, I'm gonna demonstrate really quick to you what your testimony sounds like to me. Hindu says, oh, I used to not be Hindu, but then I had sleep paralysis, and then I called out the name of Brahma, and the paralysis demon fled or whatever. Would that be what would you do with that information? Would you drop everything and become a Hindu? Probably not. Conversely, should I drop everything and chew on the meat that you're giving me, like the meat-free bone that you're giving me, just because you're like make a claim that something helped you during sleep paralysis? Absolutely not, man. You're almost 1 Saturn year old. Yeah, I'm just about there. What are your thoughts on European history? Have a lot. Depends on the region. Depends on the context. I guess it's like what I think about the Roman Empire or the English Empire, the colonization, Soviet Union. I don't know. It just depends on what part of we're talking about. Greetings from the Bible Belt. Greetings to the Bible Belt from the great state of Michigan. Ooh, 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 ooh. How you doing today, Cooper? Good to see you. Oh man. Sleep time. Honk shoe. Honk shoe. Have a good rest of your night, T. Fun discussion, as it normally is. What was your sealing moment when you left Christianity? Was it the Bible and its evil actions, or Christians in general? The Bible and its evil actions is what started my deconstruction. The day that it ended was a day where I was looking into evidence of the Bible being true, evidence for God being real. I can't remember what argument I was on. I was going over it for like the third time in a row, trying to make it work. And then one day it just hit me that everything else in my life that doesn't answer back, doesn't have any logical substantiation for it, can't be definitively or verifiably proven with history, didn't leave behind any archaeological artifacts that can be verified, and who entails contradictions with its nature. I call such a thing non-existent. And so I realized I didn't have a good logical reason to do something different for God. So that's the day I knew I was an atheist. Have you heard of the Nation of Islam? Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Hate group. I'll leave it at that. Hey, Hugh, what's up, Ray and Joseph? Southern European of the Middle Ages, to be exact, Italian, Spanish, etc. I don't know too much about like Middle Ages, Southern European history, so I won't comment on it. Sure, isn't a religion, bro? It's about a very interesting topic I came across. What's it about then? I'm waiting. Okay, what's up? What's up, Leonard or Leonardo? What's up, man? Also, what's up, Via's board? Thoughts on medical cannabis such as CBD? I'm pretty pro medical cannabis. Yeah, pretty pro it if it helps you out. By all means, do the thing. I mostly take it for recreational purposes, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's got some health benefits. At the very least, good for pain relief, good for calming people down. So, yeah, absolutely good stuff. Do I think it's a panacea like a lot of more disingenuous potheads are claiming that it is? No, not even a little bit. Do I think it's harmful? like inhaling smoke of anything is going to harm your lungs a bit, right? But do I think it does some great stuff? Absolutely. So yeah, by all means, I'm I'm pro cannabis. Me too, dude. If you watch the stream long enough, you know I'm very pro cannabis. Um, just not to the point of doing what like the more disingenuous stoners like to do and say like, oh, it's not a drug at all. Oh, it's a plant, and oh, it can cure everything from rickets to Turner syndrome and just whatever the fuck. It's just like, nah, it's great, but it's not, you know. But yeah, I do love. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. These streams keep me up way too long. They keep me up way too long too. I should really start streaming at more reasonable hours, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the future. Especially now that I don't have a girlfriend anymore, I might have to start like just getting sleep through the nighttime and start streaming during the day. Thoughts on abortion? The how do I best say this? I'm gonna try to say this in a way that Dillahunty said it recently. Consenting to sex isn't consenting to becoming pregnant. Consenting to being pregnant is consent to staying pregnant, and consent to staying pregnant can be revoked. So, yeah, I'm obviously pretty pro-choice. As someone who's consumed both, CBD is far more superior. I don't really like CBD, dude. I used to take this is like if it wasn't vegetable glycerin, I'd probably, because I don't have a vape for it anymore, but I got the CBD vape juice and it didn't do anything for me. Just left a grass aftertaste in my mouth and just the taste was awful and it didn't do anything. I don't know. It's obviously THC does some stuff, but yeah, there's nothing. I guess it's just nothing I have that's cured by CBD. So if you can't understand and perceive something that's non-existent, Chuck, normally I like to say like, no, I didn't say such a thing. You're putting words in my mouth, but just to demonstrate that really quickly, what did I say that led you to the conclusion that I believe that something's non-existent based solely on me being able to not understand it or perceive it? So that means it's okay to kick a pregnant woman. Why do you have to be so retarded? Scottish, why y'all gotta be so dumb, man? Is it okay to kick somebody who is obviously consenting to staying pregnant just because I believe that women have the rights to terminate pregnancy if they so choose? Are we fucking joking? Why do we have to be so dumb? Why do we have to be so dumb, man? I'll never get it. I just don't get it. I will never understand it, man. Hey, people should have you have autism. Okay, well, I don't even know if that's an excuse. I'm a little bit on the I'm a little bit on that spectrum too, dude. And even I can understand that there's a non sequitur between women should have the right to terminate pregnancy if they feel like it's best for them, not being congruent with we should have the right to assault people who consent to staying pregnant. I don't know what to tell you on that one. You've been smoking pot every day since you were 17. I'm 24 and I'm fine. I can't do it every day. I love it so much that I like keeping my tolerance not as low as possible, obviously, but I don't like really blowing my tolerance out the water. But yeah, it's great stuff. I do love it. I think there's this like service that this one person on X uses. I'll look into it. Support's already shoddy. I shouldn't add any more links at this point. Also, I'm not talking about the woman. It's okay to kill someone else's unborn baby. No, dude. Like, no, man. No, man. No. Is it okay to end somebody else's pregnancy if they consent to staying pregnant? No. Matter of fact, I'm not dealing with this retardation tonight. Get the fuck out, dude. Just get out, man. Just get out, man. You have I'm not even gonna say room temperature IQ. You have absolute zero in Fahrenheit IQ. It's one of the dumbest things I've read tonight, man. If you were just trolling, well done, but holy fuck, dude, get the fuck out of my life. Ugh, man. Jeez. Basically, raw dog life. You've never had drugs. Hell yeah, man. Can't speak. I can't agree with you. Oh, hi. What's up, Jesse? Good to see you. I'm just getting off here. The pregnant woman's comment is giving. I love pancakes. So you want waffle lovers to die? Exactly. Hey, women should have the right to choose choose their reproductive health care. Oh, so we should be able to kill other people's children? No. These are bitch. These are two separate sentences. You are dumb. Like, like I feel like I'm going fucking insane sometimes. I feel like I'm going insane sometimes, dude. I'll never get these people sometimes, man. I'll never get it. It's not meant for me. The way that people say, oh, the Old Testament wasn't meant for us. The way that some of these motherfuckers argue, it's just not meant for me, dude. Oh gosh. Pregignant? I don't do drugs, no drugs allowed. I'm in Marine Corps. Hey, welcome. Welcome in, I guess. I almost joined the Air Force, but my physical didn't come back well. High blood pressure and shit. You think we're all just miraculously on the planet and there is no purpose? I don't know. Wouldn't call abiogenesis miraculous. It's a natural process over millions of years. You're still about this. Go get some air. You can't prove God's not real, and I can't prove he is. So let's drop this idiocracy and say that greedy American churches are to blame for the Exodus. Javon, man, I'm going to continue to talk about this. I feel like this is worthy of being talked about. I feel like people should critically think about why they believe the things that they do, and people shouldn't use their beliefs to awful ends. And if you don't like that, or if this just isn't for you, that's completely fine. But like, let's not come in and try to tell me what I should or shouldn't do with my content, right? The same way I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't watch. If we put thermometer in the freezer, it shows these people's IQ. No, these people are scraping for that kind of IQ, man. Nah, dude. You gotta literally take all atomic movement from an object or from a substance, and that'll show their IQ. Like, man, goodness. You think you have less than room temperature IQ, TBH? If you got timed out for 24 hours yesterday, you probably do. I'll tell you what, though, we are all on this planet together. Yep, no matter what, we're here. So, I don't know, man. That's great to me. Would you want to go back to a workplace where you were previously bullied? Probably not, unless the pay was really good. You were saying that while you were in your deconstruction phase that you couldn't find evidence or logic to prove anything, so it's non-existent. I wouldn't say that there is no evidence whatsoever to prove the existence of a God, but what I will say is that the most stringently presented evidence of the Christian God being real that I used to believe in did not hold up to logical scrutiny. So I feel like you know that, though, and I feel like you just want to contend for the sake of contention at this point. So what changed your mind about your belief? I just looked at evidence of God being real, and I found none of it convincing. It didn't hold up to logical scrutiny. It didn't hold up to evidential scrutiny, historical scrutiny, archaeological scrutiny, so I left. What's something you wish more people knew about atheism? Oh man, there's so many things that not believing, probably the biggest one is that not believing in a God doesn't make somebody evil by default. I've met some pretty fucked up atheists doing this, but that doesn't mean but people have met fucked up Christians too. Like, people are just fucked up and people are just great too. And so somebody's lack of belief in a God doesn't mean that they're automatically just this monster of a person. I feel like that's the biggest issue. Zero evidence now, zero evidence forever. There you go. Exactly. The pay is not good. Oh, fuck them then. Fuck them. There you go. Were your parents religious? Yeah, both of my parents were religious. Well, one of my parents was religious. He's dead now. And the other was and still is religious. She's still alive. Oh, man. Any funny that people don't believe in God think they're so smart, but just saying over and over again they don't believe in God. Like, who cares if you don't believe in God? Cloud 7. There's other reasons for me doing this stream, but it sounds like this isn't the stream for you, and that's completely fair. We all derive entertainment value from different things. We all derive philosophical satisfaction from different things, and the stream isn't for you. That's completely fine. But what I'm then going to do is put you in timeout for 24 hours because if you don't know, if you don't like the stream, it's not for you. That's fine. But you don't get to be here. So have a good rest of your night. Appreciate you, but skadoosh, my dude. Get skadooshed immediately. Love some Powerade grape. I haven't had grape Powerade in like 15 years, so I couldn't tell you what it tastes like personally, or if it even tastes similar to what I vaguely remember it tasting like. Okay, yeah. Now that we're slowing down a little bit, I think this is the perfect time to get off. I can't even remember all the platforms I'm on and all the shit I have in my beacons now. I'm glad I added this stuff to my to my bio. Wait 1 second. Grape drinks taste like medicine. I hate it. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of grape flavor. I love grapes, but grape flavored stuff is just what's the opposite? Oh, like raspberries too. I love artificial raspberry flavor, but I don't like actual raspberries too much. You know what, Seraphim, you can go too. I mean, I'm ending the stream anyway, but that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. That'll do plenty, actually. That's plenty. You know, no more slices. That'll do. Just to make myself feel better, I'm just gonna get you out of here. Anyway, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. You know, subscribe, like the stream, all that good stuff. Shit. Follow me on Twitch and TikTok. Both of my TikTok accounts. X, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, Trovo if you have it. Most of y'all haven't even heard of Trovo. I don't know why I advertise that shit. Clapper, the same deal. Yes. How do y'all haven't even heard of it? Lemonade. Blue Sky. I know y'all have heard of that one though. Threads, right? Join the subreddit. We want to build up the subreddit for the future. Start somewhere, right? If you're over the age of 18, and only if you're over the age of 18, join my Discord server. And add me on Snapchat too if you want to talk in private. If you want to send text to speech, you can tip $1 or more on Streamlabs, on my Streamlabs page for text to speech, or you can instead donate $1 or more to the crisis text line through my Streamlabs charity link for TTS. Support the channel, you know. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Patreon if you want to support me monthly. You do crypto. I'm not even talking about the crypto shit. Who here does crypto? All right, who the fuck does crypto in here? Show of hands, really quickly before I get off. I don't know why I advertise why I have my crypto stuff up. Who in here even deals in crypto? I could bet there's probably like maybe one of you in the entire stream right now, if that. Do I still respect Muslims and Christians? Yeah, I respect Muslims and Christians. I don't necessarily respect their doctrine, and I'm going to not respect people who don't deserve my respect, and, you know, so that depends. Appreciate you being honest about your belief. All the best to you. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. You don't do crypto? Yeah, nobody here does crypto, but on the off chance that you do, all this to lead into me talking about it. On the off chance that you do and you want to support the stream, you can send me Bitcoin over the Lightning Network to my Strike, or you can send Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, or PayPal USD to one of my crypto addresses. So that'll do though. That'll do. That'll do. Great stream, bro. No, great for you being here. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. But yeah, have a great rest of y'all's night. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna get some ice cream. I'm gonna go knock the fuck out for a couple hours until I gotta wake up for work. Subscribe if you haven't already.